Wait, when are we going live?
All right.
Gross.
Hello again, adventures. I forgot to mute that.
What did we? Oh, your stream.
Hi, we're professionals.
Hi, folks. This is
I'm more professional now.
another
Sorry, this is our second
exciting
time doing this. We're
episode
still learning.
of Tears of the Realms. Yes, this is the show where I screw things up repeatedly and then pretend I know what I'm doing.
7 years, folks.
And the rest of us continue to screw them up.
Yay.
7 years. You'd think we know what we're doing at this point.
I don't
No.
want to know what I'm doing.
So, and then Elias disappeared, and
And now
What?
Elias is twice.
No, we have Elias and we have E. And
Oh,
E
yeah.
is very happy, actually.
Oh, God.
This is great. Can we
Oh,
make sure we get
God.
the still of Elias laughing? Because he,
I got it.
Thank you. It was so
Welcome.
joyful,
Elias.
that frozen moment.
I just finished cropping everything. Why would you do this to me? All right, we're just gonna be mad at
He's
Elias for a
frozen
little bit.
again.
Do you want to build an Elias? Come on, let's go and play. Well, while Elias is dealing with that, let's talk about announcements. Do we have the youth the themed announcements?
We're at PAX, which is why Elias is
Frozen.
Eliasing.
Elias, you
Oh,
should
and he's
probably just
gone.
let it go. And now all of my cropping is worthless. Kiri,
Wow.
most of you is Chax, but your hair is you.
I am
and me.
wholly in the void.
Oh, but my hair is Elias.
Yeah. So I mean, that's
Which is
cool.
about as opposite of Elias as you can get.
I think Kiri's hair is more opposite Elias.
That's true.
Anyway, so
Dang.
we're gonna turn this into an audio podcast for a slight moment. Announcements. Do we have announcement type the things
Yes.
going on?
We're at PAX. We had a panel last night at PAX West. I believe we also have another panel this weekend as well. And we're also, or at least a lot of us are doing, or a bunch of them are doing a Metroid panel. That Metroid panel is tomorrow. That has Elias and Amanda Van Heil and our lovely Mary. And so come for the Metroid panel, and then they'll be running around for all your other fun Zelda things.
Yes, it'll have myself and Mary. Amanda
Oh, that's
somehow got
nice.
double booked.
Double booked? Wow.
Yeah.
Amanda, you know,
What's it like to be
after
popular?
it was shown to the world on the BBC that she is a true gamer, her popularity just skyrocketed. You know.
Jody.
Good.
Jody, you're a black box, by the way, on the stream
Oh,
preview.
it's because I forgot to hit the right button there. Now I'm back. Hi, everybody.
Lex, do you need a Galinda?
Why did you bring sushi?
Am I the Galinda? Wait.
Well, you asked what's it like to be popular, so do you need a Galinda?
Everything
Oh,
reminds me of
got
a
it.
Everybody needs a
musical.
Galinda.
Everything.
Yes,
Elias.
Elias. Have I not explained
Elias.
to you
7 years.
No, when I was graduating high school and was applying for a scholarship for college, one of my rec letters from my band instructor opened with, "Some people say life is a musical, and that is how Leah lives every day."
That's beautiful.
And that is
Yeah.
so accurate to who I am that when later I needed a different band instructor to write a rec letter for me in college, I was in the room and I jokingly said that, and he's like, "Oh, that's good. I should use that."
Damn.
So, yeah. See Zelda Universe people at PAX West. If you see them, say hi. Ask
You
Elias.
can
to roll
identify
for
us
initiative.
by our faces.
Yes.
Like everything else in the world. Faces.
So, Other announcements. Oh, a big announcement as far as Zelda is concerned is it's been officially confirmed that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are not in the
Okay.
normal timeline.
Okay.
Timelines don't matter anymore.
So you're referring to the event that happened that showed an official graphic and had Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom separate from the Three Branch timeline, right?
Yeah.
No.
Which, of course, has
That-
only one interpretation, and that is that Breath of the Wild is a reboot.
That is okay.
Or it's
Just
or it's
watch
in the
Elias's
time
head
break where Zelda-
explode.
Or it's in the time break where Zelda Monopoly is.
That's actually a good video. But
If you know, you know.
the no, that's just it's not new information. It's the same information we knew, which is the developers do not know nor care where it fits on the timeline. And so they
Which
have
is
to
the
list
right
it separately
answer.
until they figure it out, if they so choose to ever figure it out.
I'm curious as to how many people heard that announcement or read about it and went, "Wait, there's a timeline?"
I mean,
It's a time fork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with 3 timelines, so it's
What-
more
what can
like
I-
a
can I say it's a-
trifork.
yeah. God damn it.
Hey, I'm the one that made it, so I get to make the reference first.
Fine.
We got speaking of Zelda news, we got another trailer for Echoes of Wisdom, which is coming out, I think, at the end of this coming month, end of September. Slight spoiler alert if you want to avoid absolutely everything about it. But Zelda gets a sword.
Well, Drinks and I do not mix.
Harry, we can hear you, but we can't hear you at the same time.
Use mixers.
I feel like Kiri is like in the
Kiri is a
kitchen or something,
robot.
but
Yeah.
left her mic hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a mixer.
I could have
Okay.
sworn that I have the
I
ability
say
to
just
mute
keep-
individual channels and I
Yeah,
can't find
yeah.
it.
Just keep talking over Kiri just in case she says something
Yeah.
that she does not want on the channel.
I think she's
Um,
talking to one of the cats because she said something about whiskers. So
Most
we'll just take
likely.
everything
Yeah.
she's saying about Sophie
It's to a cat.
or
yes.
void
Yeah.
floof.
What is time anyway? That is my question, Velvet Blondie. I don't think it exists. It is a
Also, I know we're
construct.
calling it
Tiny
Echoes
one,
of Wisdom,
wibbly
but it
wobbly.
should be called Echoes of Steel Chair.
I
Or
mean,
Echoes of Table.
maybe. Or bet, like
What are you
in
guys
the
thinking?
in the preview, Zelda is in the middle of a boss fight, pulls out of bed, and then goes to sleep. So
Welcome back, Kiri.
This
I
is the
think
most
it was definitely
wrestling-
not
this is the
hot
most.
while you were
This
away.
is the most wrestling game in the world.
So, yeah, I'm getting really excited about Echoes of Wisdom. Floof. And
I get to play it today.
oh yeah,
Oh,
they've got
right.
they've got a lot of cool stuff going on at West. So there's going to be that. I believe Monster Hunter Wilds has a playable demo at West, which would be really, really cool. Yeah. Also, another fun fact: 20-year anniversary of PAX this year. They've been doing this for 20 years, guys.
Yeah. That was
Well.
like a couple days ago, yeah.
Kinda nonsense. So yeah, that's cool stuff. In the world of tabletop RPGs,
PAX is happening. Get it? Because that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Bags is happening right now, so that's cool. Matt Colville is creating a new tabletop RPG that has now been called Draw Steel, and people that backed the Kickstarter, myself included, have gotten the first playtest packet for it, and it's cool. I'm really pumped about it. Obviously, we're probably not going to get the actual game for probably at least another year, but the playtest packet in and of itself is pretty cool. And it has this really interesting thing where you don't roll to hit, you roll to see how hard you hit. All attacks always hit. So that's interesting. I've never played a TTRPG that does that. There's another floof on screen.
It literally never misses.
Yeah, basically what happens is when you roll your 2d10, depending on how high you roll, it will increase the things that happen. Like, if you roll low, then it'll just do a little bit of damage. If you roll higher, it'll do more damage, and sometimes other stuff like pushing an enemy down or switching places with them or other stuff like that. So it's cool. So, yeah. Any other announcements for other peoples?
I
Yes.
have an announcement. School starts next week.
Wow, so late for you.
Yeah, it always starts the Wednesday after Labor Day at this university. Yeah, so we're going to do lecture for Introduction to Digital Communication, which is fun, which means I'm going to ask you all to do work for me.
I know digital
And we will
I
say
know
no.
communication.
Which is a fair response, Elias. Right now, the work might be help me come up with a question for the lecture activity for the first day. I'm
It's a
fine.
hot dog,
I'm
a
not
sandwich.
crazy.
You gotta be
No.
safe. What do you know about digital communication?
I mean, at the moment, it's in which period of history do you think communication was the best? And I include which periods they can talk about, but I don't like the best. I want that to be different.
Do you think is was the most efficient?
I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So school's starting up again. Very nice.
Yeah. Also, I'm
Oh.
going to England in October.
Even
Yeah,
cooler.
all right.
So.
My announcement is I'm going to Japan in April.
Really?
Ooh.
My announcement is Halloween is coming up, and I'm so excited.
I'm going to be in England over Halloween.
My announcement is that I'm running games at a convention in October.
Yay!
Yay!
Is it you're not going to tell us what convention? Like you're just going to drop
Big
that?
Bad
and not-
Con.
Okay.
And Carrie, I don't know about anyone else, but I could not hear you if you were attempting to say anything, so.
You're still muted.
My announcement is the new World of Warcraft expansion came out, so I'm going to be playing way too much WoW and getting into high-end dungeons in a few weeks.
Oh, my other announcement is I got new tech.
Woo!
Where in England are you gonna be, Aelia?
Well, first I'll be in Scotland for just a couple of days, which, yes, not England, but it was cheaper to fly into Edinburgh than London, and my brother
That's
and
weird.
his
Normally
husband.
it's the other way around.
Oh, and I am doing a stopover in London as part of that. Don't know how, but my brother and his husband live in Edinburgh, so
If you have,
yes,
if you
I'll
have
be there
free
for
time
I'll
and
be
want
there
like
for like a weekend, and then
Okay.
I'll train down to Sheffield, which has England's
Steel.
National Video Game Museum.
That
Let's-
sounds so fancy. I'll train down to Sheffield.
if you need extra cool little ideas of where to go, let's
I'll
talk.
mostly be attending a conference.
Oh, that's fair.
That's why I'm
Do
going.
you do high tea?
I do high tea. Yes.
Have you done? Because I'm assuming because he lives in Edinburgh, you probably have. But did you get to do the
So
colony?
they hadn't moved
library?
to Edinburgh yet. I was last there 2 years ago for their wedding, and they moved to Edinburgh after the wedding.
If you're able to, I'll send you a link. If you're able to do a high tea at the law library, it's like the real big fancy.
Okay.
So good and so upsettingly pretty. You are surrounded by books. You get really good food, and they'll actually put it
Perfect.
in like boxes for you because they don't expect you to finish it because it's so much fucking food.
That's so good because that
Um,
is not common in the UK.
It is not.
No, they're like, we don't do that here. One time when I
But
asked.
they're like,
Food is
it's
not
a
common
lot.
in the UK.
It's a lot
No,
of
to
food.
go.
To go.
Oh,
Or takeaway, as it is more
Yeah.
often called there.
you can always
my-
just steal it and take
Oh.
away. You know?
My fiance's mom, when we were there, asked when we were in France, she ordered like this little appetizer, but she wasn't feeling good, so she asked if she could take it to go, and they just looked at her like with the most appalled face, and they did not understand. So they ended up like giving her a piece of paper and brought over some tape and was like,
I mean, that's the French, though. So,
Look, at least they tried. In England, when I asked, they went, "We don't do that here," and it was not a fancy place.
It was McDonald's.
It was basically
know what?
a diner.
You know what though? I do enjoy occasionally trying like McDonald's in other countries
Oh
to
my
see
gosh.
how it varies.
"It's so different. The coffee in the McDonald's in France is actually really good."
Yeah.
I was
It's
so
wild.
bored.
Regulations.
I got pissed at
Yeah.
the fries because I think the burgers are worse in the UK because they don't do their meat well. Bless them. But the fries, I was so upset. I'm like, these taste exactly as they do back home, but they don't leave that weird film in my mouth because they use a different oil. And I got so, I'm like, this is possible? How do
Wild.
I was so bored when I was in Florence. I was like, today's the day I'm gonna check out European McDonald's.
And
see,
I've
we
never
checked it out
been
and
that
it was like,
bored.
Hey, it was the
it was
hottest
the
club I went
only
to that
thing
trip.
open on the way back
Yep.
to our hotel one time. And I was like, should we? Yes. Because we haven't
I-
eaten and we're going to be very, very uncomfortable if we don't.
I do take my food fairly seriously when I travel, and I try not to eat anywhere I can get back home. And I try to eat local food and try at least one new thing every time when I
I
travel.
mean, I think that's a good policy, but also there's something to like trying a local version of something you're used to see the
Mhm.
difference.
Yes,
Yeah.
but also usually it's a McDonald's or a Starbucks, and I don't drink coffee, and I don't typically go to McDonald's.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Before we start, I'm so
I've-
sorry. 'Cause
I
that
have
was
found
muted.
where I'm getting hand pies.
I have an announcement because I didn't get to say it when I was
Yay!
here last.
Yay! Yay!
Yeah.
It's been ages.
I was
Wait,
literally ready
wait.
to bring this up.
Oh,
I just signed a book deal,
Yay!
which is why I'm very hungover right now.
Yay! Why?
Wait, when you sign contracts, does it make you drunk?
Yes.
Yes.
I've been
when you
signing
have
the wrong
friends-
contracts.
Look, when you have friends that are like, how long have you been sitting on this? And you're like, 8 months, because we agreed on the deal memo in January, and then lawyers be lawyering for 8 months before the contract was delivered. Then we're gonna go celebrate this milestone. And I was like, great. And you should maybe, while your friends love you, count what they hand you. Especially if you are not a person who normally consumes any or a lot of alcohol.
If
So this is going to be a very chill stream where we all just go and get tea.
Super
Yeah.
in
chill.
character.
oh, is this another alley?
No.
well,
But maybe
We
a less
have double
stressful
the
alley.
people
Uh,
needed to make it.
if
an alley.
anyone would like to
So-
see
Jack.
the official announcement, I have linked Kiri's Instagram post in chat. Also, follow Kiri's Instagram. It's really awesome and amazing, and on a remarkably high number of instances, there are cats on it that are adorable. So,
So
I mean,
the
she has
question-
other really cool stuff too. Like she'll show off her amazing, like super hot wife, and you know, do Morris dancing and stuff like that. But there's cats.
So the question, Kiri, is what time period can we expect the new book to be on
The
shelves?
new book is being released, unfortunately, a year from now because publishing is the slowest thing in the world. But when a pre-order link is available, which I believe usually happens like 6 months prior or something like
Mhm.
that, I will not be able to shut up about it. So you will know if you follow me.
Good. As a
You
reminder,
might
when
know
I
if you
read-
don't follow me. 'Cause that's
When
how
I read
loud it is.
Alice, I finished it, and then I was mad at Kiri because there wasn't more book. So Kiri is a wonderful writer.
Yeah. If you want to know what
and
Alice
everyone should buy their
looks like, it's there. That's
I
Alice.
Too cropped.
remember reading Alice because I'm pretty sure it was the last book I read years ago.
Yeah.
And feeling the same thing,
Wow.
like, oh, I would be able to read another
She
one
has
of
a
these.
sequel
and then
to it,
another one
too.
came out, and I haven't
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
I have,
But I know
and
it's fantastic.
You've got a year
obviously.
to catch up.
I would still like more.
Oh, it's a new series. These are unrelated.
I know
books.
this is a new series, But this is just about your writing
Yeah,
capabilities.
like he just needs
Babe
to read everything
Wonderful.
that you.
I
Yes.
would like more from the other series too, but I'm very excited for this new series.
I do think
It,
I
it
ended up
it's
buying
hard
like
to it's hard to sell an already existing series unless it's like become really like blah.
Popular.
So
Yeah.
that's why new series,
I
but
think I
more
ex
on
But
old
also
series.
everyone buy the first series so it becomes super popular.
I think I accidentally bought like 2 copies of Changeling, right? That was the name.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
Uh-huh.
name.
I bought 2 copies just by accident because I forgot I had pre-ordered it, and then I bought it, and then my pre-order came in. Um, but I liked the hardcover books, so they were both hardcover, but the hardcover size was different than the Alice
Oh,
hardcover size,
oh, I'm
and
upset
that
about that.
bugged the crap out of me.
It
So then I
it's the
ended up
same for
Bugged
the
the
buying
soft cover
then
sizes.
I ended up
It
buying
bugged the crap
paperback
out of
copies
me
of
because
both
it
of
was
them just so
supposed to
that
be
I
the
could get them
same.
the same size. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
apparently, they changed printers, and that's why.
Mm.
I don't know. With indie publishing, it gets a little funny like that. But I did actually make an entire TikTok lamenting this. Just your dollar. How fucking
Hey,
dare you?
Elias, my good friend.
So, oh,
If
right. Yeah, sure.
you move some stuff so you're kind of closer to
No,
me
that's not what I
on
wanted.
screen. Well, that's going on. Another not nearly as cool announcement. I'm doing a Let's Play series on my YouTube channel. I'm a daily vlogger now and have been for over half a year. But I'm doing a Let's Play series for the new Mana series game, Visions of Mana. So if you would like to watch me be bad at video games in half-hour increments,
Then watch Jody play Metroid.
that hurts.
Damn.
Also, I'm not horrible at Metroid.
I am.
I
We-
100.
no,
I'll have you
there's
know,
a scale
I
and it
100%ed
starts at me.
Metroid Dread, and I was very proud of that because I've never 100%ed a Metroid game before.
I'm
I
also
died in
proud
the
of you.
demo.
Hey, the demo is a good slice of it. It's not a
What
walk
we've
in the park.
learned is I'm not good at attacking, but I will run at the danger, which is much like real life.
As long as you can dodge.
No,
Anyway,
it's very
And what?
adverse.
Oh, I should have been rewarded for that burn. What are you talking?
so anyway,
Anything I do causes Imp to give Jody a token.
Pretty much.
yeah, lots of cool stuff going on.
Jax has a
over
hand
right
up.
now.
Before we start, just because I want to bring awareness to it, because I just found it again, not nearly as cool as all of y'all. But so I recently found, so if you guys don't know, I'm a speech pathologist, and I do therapy, and I've recently started to do DMing for pragmatic groups after school. They don't know that it's therapy though. So I went online and I found this really cool program called the Game to Grow Method, and it's written by psychologists, and it's basically for mental health, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And right now it seems like it's picking up pace. But I'm gonna be getting a certificate in it, and like, guys, it's so cool. Like, if you know anyone who is a therapist or a mental health specialist, or who wants to sort of get into it, because it's not just for therapists. There's also like a community or just an educator version as well. Encourage them to check it out because it is, and they obviously have this book. Besides the full program, because it is like the things that they're doing is absolutely wonderful. So
I would like to see who
push
the
that.
authors are.
I'll send you a link.
Okay, thank you.
So anyway,
I don't have my glasses on.
very cool stuff that Titi Jax is doing, helping kids learn valuable skills and play the Dungeons and/or Dragons. Speaking of D&D, there's a D&D Direct. They announced a bunch of things, including, for the first time in 50 years, Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons itself is releasing a book entirely about dragons in dungeons. Like, we've had books about dragons. We've had books about dungeons. Never had books specifically about how to put dragons into dungeons. And they're finally putting one out. So,
Insanity.
yeah. Like,
I was about to
remember-
call you on it, being like, "Bro, fizz bands exist," and then you said in a dungeon, and I went,
yeah.
"Oh Wait.
Well, now I want to see a dungeon in a dragon.
That.
That
Well,
could be arranged.
That sounds
you ever heard-
dirty.
My guy, have you heard of a bag of beans and rolling a pyramid? That can happen.
So,
Do we just need a Miss Frizzle campaign? Like,
I guess at this
Yes.
point we can. I can announce what the next plot line of Tears of the Realms is going to be. You guys are going to be inside a dragon. So,
Yay! Oh,
The
anyway,
dragon tier.
yeah, the dragon tear. So, yeah, cool stuff. Good going on there. Otherwise, I think that's all. Unless somebody else has something cool going on. We all good? Okay. So
I have coffee this morning. I'm very happy.
I don't know what the definition of cool is.
Guys, the coffee at the original Starbucks is actually better than Starbucks coffee.
yes.
wait, did Starbucks
It's like
actually start in Seattle?
Full coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 2 blocks away, right there.
Yeah,
I
I
love
mean-
how I got that in stereo. Yes.
The first place has to be decent enough to become a franchise eventually. It's nice that it's still decent.
Anyway, it is time for us to return to the Tears of the Realms. The artifacts have been empowered. After traveling to the world of the Minish, the party met a new ally in the form of their friend Fubari. And as they started exploring this new tier, they discovered a strange shadow sickness was spreading throughout the land. After going to a settlement of Forest Minish, they discovered that there might be a solution to this. Locked away in the Temple of the Minish. But in order to get there, an artifact empowered by the Forest Minish and an artifact empowered by the Town Minish had to be brought to the temple. So after convincing the Forest Minish to collectively empower their artifact, the party eventually traveled to the Town Minish, where their reception was less than friendly. After Mado designed and implemented a brand new shield design, and they traveled across the rooftops of the various Hylian abodes, they met with the mayor of the Town Minish and were finally able to convince the mayor to allow them to bring all the Town Minish together to empower the relic. During the empowerment ceremony, it was brought to light that the mayor himself may not be as altruistic as people believed, but through a persuasive speech from Mado and the support of the rest of the Tier Walkers, the party was able to inspire the Town Minish to empower their artifact and to send a delegation to the Temple of the Minish in order to open it and hopefully cure this shadow sickness. And that is where we return. So, because it's been a while since we've had absolutely everybody here, and the one thing I forgot in my recap, Grumpo, the lovely, friendly leader of the barn dwelling Town Minish, has been not only infected with the shadow sickness, but who was it? Was it Zariah and Mato actually basically saw him getting consumed by the shadow sickness, and it involved a lot of strange shadows kind of pouring out of his body and all this other kind of nasty stuff.
Not pouring, dripping.
Dripping, yes. So,
Yeah, that was fun.
Which is worse.
so, yeah, now you guys basically have everything you need to open the the Temple of the Minish. Go ahead.
Do we still have like his body in tow? His comatose darkness?
Well, when we ended last time, it was right after the meeting. So there were a few members of the Tier Walkers that, for some inexplicable reason, were just quiet for about like 2-ish hours, and so they stayed outside of the meeting with Grumpo's unconscious form. So I think that
okay,
was
so we're still watching it. Okay.
yeah. And you are muted, Kiri.
Did our distraction already happen?
Yes, the distraction actually went.
You did great.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of us.
The Hylians were very quick to try and put out the fire. Who would have thought? So we had to do a distraction for the distraction.
Yep.
Love Great.
And then as that was happening, Zariah kind of broke off from formation. Mato followed. That's how we found that Grumpa was in the real bad.
Also,
and so,
we learned about a plant called goat spurs or something like that. You're muted, Jax.
Goat heads.
Goat heads. If you're not familiar
Vicious
with this
plants.
plant, they are evil.
Stickers from hell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They apparently can pop tires.
Yes.
Just like me.
Which I have experienced many a times.
So,
Not get them in your skin. They hurt.
yeah, according to Imp, it was weird. They committed arson, but no bakeries were involved. So,
It's because Ilea's
I wasn't
character
there.
wasn't in the arson party.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was off starting fires somewhere else.
yep. And then we got back, and then I rolled a nat 20 and broke the mayor's brain.
hmm The mayor
it
felt
was-
actual remorse. So, yeah.
See what happens when I actually roll decent, guys?
So,
I swear I can roll.
yeah. So, the end result was basically a representative from each of the largest kind of family groups of the town Minish, which I think we decided was somewhere a little over like a dozen people. We're all going to go with the artifact to the Temple of Minish. Well, we're with you guys to open it up and hopefully deal with this problem. So that is where we are right now. Is there anything any of you guys want to do before leaving the town Minish?
It's going to take us more than a day to get to the temple, right?
Yeah, crossing the kind of no man's land in and of itself will take you, with all the extra people there, it'll only take you like 6 hours instead of the 8 it happened. And then once you get to the force, it's about a day's journey. So roughly about a day and a half, 2 days to get there.
Then I am good.
Okay.
I would like to collect whatever muffins are available for food supplies.
Yes, you're able. It's actually been a long time since you've been able to get this far into the town. Normally, you just kind of interact with the barn Minish when you meet over here. So you're actually able to go to the official bakery and get the muffins warm.
And can I get a scone while we're there, just for comparison's
Yes.
sake?
I'll say
It's
these.
like No, I was just saying it's like visiting McDonald's in every country. It's like getting a scone in every tier we go into.
This tier,
I love
in
it for you.
comparison with the scones that you got in the Sheikah tier, you think that this scone, it's not a bad scone. Like, there really isn't that many ways you can make a bad scone. But
You'd be surprised.
Etsukorimala definitely better.
How does this one compare? And I will never tell any of the Minish this. How does this one compare to the Forest Minish scone?
Forest Minish scone is better.
Yeah, I
However,
figured. Okay.
the specialty for this bakery is not scones; it is specifically muffins. So if you decide to have a muffin, the muffins are amazing. They've got that.
I do
kind of-
not.
Okay.
But I wager I see Fubari enjoying one.
Yeah, Fubari again with her endless pockets. She just keeps taking muffins, and eventually you're just kind of looking at her and going, "Okay, there's no more room. I don't know where these muffins are going, but there's nowhere else you could put them." And then she will come up with another pocket.
I don't
It's
know
a
if
rune
Minish
attack.
have cheek pockets, but she's stuffing
Yeah.
pockets as well.
So Fubari not only has now a coat full of muffins, but she also has two very large cheeks. She looks very content.
I look forward to the final battle later whenever Fubari gets hit by a fatal blow, but a muffin protects her heart.
Lord.
So, yeah. So, if there's nothing else that you guys want to do, because it's relatively late in the day after the meeting and getting the muffins and everything, you are offered lodging. Remarkably enough, in the house of the bakery owners. And then very, very early in the morning, like pre-dawn, everybody gets ready because it's slightly easier to travel under cover of night than it is to travel in broad sunlight. And going across the no man's land is significantly easier than it was when you guys are going. And it's not raining, so that's a plus.
I have a question for the party. Is there any teardrops that we want to like redistribute, or is everyone good with what they have?
I think I'm good with what I have.
Hold on. Let me look at one of
I'm
mine.
checking what I have.
I'm only asking because I have an empty space. I have a slot for one if anyone wants anything taken off their hands.
I don't know. So I have something called detonation creature, which I'll put I'll put.
I would like that.
I would like that.
Everyone's like, I'll take it.
This is the specific text for it.
I just shared my specific text right underneath, so just be aware.
Oh, yeah. There, you can also look at mine.
I will trade you for a muffin of shock attack.
To whom?
Wait, I have
Whoever
I have
wants
one,
to
I
get
don't
things to
remember
blow
how
up.
Sure. I will trade.
Done it.
I
3
receive.
times. Oh, that
And
is
you receive.
awful. I hate that.
Oh yeah,
Thanks for the description.
detonation creature. It's a Pokeball. You throw it, it explodes, and then a little animal shows up there.
Oh, we don't detonate a creature. I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a little
That-
creature that would show up and then walk over to something and then just
Look,
Explode.
I'm
Soraya
gonna
is
be real.
suddenly
All
less
I heard was
interested.
detonate.
I mean, something's gonna explode. It'll be fine.
It's we
So
thought it
it's
was
a-
a bomb chew. Instead, it's a Pokeball.
There it is.
Okay.
All right,
I
I
don't
will
want it
give.
anymore, as
I
much
will-
as I want Pokemon.
I will take the muffin of shock attack, Uh,
Oh wait, manifest teardrops can't be redistributed, right, Jody?
Manifests can because they are physical items.
Oh, those are the physical items. What
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the other one. What are those called?
Inherent. Let me look at the actual thing I have. Manifest. What are they? Subtle ciphers are the ones that are, or
Subtle
subtle tear
ciphers.
tops are the ones that are intrinsic to you.
Got it. That must have been the one I used. Okay, cool.
I think the detonate. I think yeah. So I still have my actual one,
I don't.
like my first one that I have.
All right. Well, if
I've
anyone
used
wants,
all of my ciphers,
okay.
and now more. So, if someone needs more taken off their hands, I do have a slot.
You know,
Who's taking the
I've got
Pokeball
a-
thing? Okay, so you now have that.
Yep. Lexia Blurry.
What?
Just in general, or
Sorry, my love.
Face cam, please.
I have some player intrusion tokens, so maybe we'll run into some cipher, some teardrops later. Who knows?
Sure.
To refill our.
Real quick, I know Adesh and Dilly take 5 effort tokens and 1 reroll token each from Imp.
Oh yeah, because they didn't get it last time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, hold on.
Thank you. 5 effort tokens.
I'm over here. Okay.
Hey, I now have 1 reroll token. Excellent.
Yeah.
So 5 new effort tokens
And 1
how
reroll.
many other 1 reroll. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Imp did this to Chax and Dottie and I
Thank
last
you.
week.
Imp does like me.
So,
He feels obligated to include you in with everyone
Some
else.
kind
I
of
think.
Okay,
internal
no,
sense
no,
of
I'm going with my
fairness.
headcanon checks.
Okay, sorry.
so as you all are traveling, you can hear the various heads of the households having conversations amongst themselves. For the most part, they're not really interacting with you guys a whole lot. And you guys can see, yes, Adesh?
Hunter's with us.
Yes. And you guys have your ant friend Hunter, who seems
Oh, you
just
named him Hunter?
yeah
Didn't want to leave him behind.
seems just pleased as
Oh, Hunter.
punch. Every so often, he will go up and kind of nuzzle against the Fubari, attempting to get one of the muffins.
That's
Whether
good.
you share
'cause
them
when
with...
we leave, he's staying with Subari.
Rubari now has a mount.
Yeah. So, but you guys do notice the Town Minish seem to be actively kind of avoiding interacting with Fubari just in general, aside from the representative of the Barn families, due to the fact that it's Fubari's friend.
It was that was a representative. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
I'll say because Dumbo or whoever is out of commission.
yeah, Grumpo was returned to the barn because they figured that it was far enough away from everyone else that they wouldn't have to deal too much. And he's actually kept on the kind of lower level away from everyone else. So
Probably not a good idea to bring a shadow infected to the temple anyway.
I mean, then we could see the direct effect of whatever we're about to do.
Yeah, but if what if it could minionify one of them? It
If you
could have
guys-
been problematic.
Well,
If
then
you
we
guys
could see
want-
additional effects.
if you guys want to bring him, Hunter could carry him. So it's entirely up to you.
No, Zerai just wants to experiment on something living.
Live humans.
We talked
Yes.
Zaraya out of it.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
It was like, while everyone else was getting their beds ready and everything like that, Zarai's just like, but seriously, guys, if we just take just one of them, I think it would work really well.
Why is Soraya talking?
I love this Zaraya impression. Never
I do
change it.
too. Zerai sounds so soft and nice. I don't think she ever sounds like that.
Well,
Wow.
That's Jody's headcanon.
I don't know. No, we're taking him, and that's because I want to.
You have to go British headmistress.
In my headcanon, Zariah was the first child that Zolta adopted, and so they might have been overindulged a bit.
All of Zariah's siblings are younger than her.
Oh, that's true. Did Zariah steal his cape?
Yes.
Yeah, it hasn't been
Shax is
returned.
Shax is getting rid of Jodi's inability to not let Zariah fly places.
Which is quite rude.
This is very insulting.
Yeah, there was one instance when you guys were bringing back Grumpo's body that one of the barn minish kind of went over to Zariah and just assuming that Zariah was just transporting the cape, just kind of went, oh, and started to reach for the cape, and Zariah just gave them this look, and they're like, I guess we're not taking that.
And a goat head immediately appeared on her arm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
First thing, Shax was like, taking the cape. I need the cape for me.
Okay, to be fair, Pierre had the entire opportunity during Realms of the Wild to fly. As soon as Zariah existed, he's like, nope, not anymore, sorry.
Look, we gotta even the playing field somehow. In my defense, that was mostly because I'm an idiot. And I forgot.
Whenever we camp for the night,
Mm-hmm.
let me know.
Sure. So, as you guys to travel, you think you're probably about maybe 4 hours away from the temple at this point, and it's gotten pretty late. So, everybody decides to bivouac down, and again, all of the town minish kind of have their own little group of tents by their lonesome.
Did we bring Grumpo or did we not?
You did
Did
not.
not.
Okay.
Zuriah wanted to use him as a human experiment or a minish experiment, but she was talked down.
Okay.
Whenever they set up their campfire, I stand up and go and sit amongst them.
Mm-hmm. And they
So,
kind of acknowledge you and then go back to talking amongst themselves.
sorry, no, yeah, we haven't spoken much on the trip. It's how y'all feeling? How you doing?
And they kind of
Sorry, have we met? My name is Adesh.
and they go, it's nice to meet you, Adesh. I am Calliope. I am the head of the Music Makers Hall. Though I personally do not make music, most of my family does. I take care of the finances.
Okay. Hey, finances are important. What kind of music do you like?
Minish music is very good.
Okay. No, do you guys ever dabble in the Hylian stuff or pretty
No,
stick
the notes
to
are
yeah?
far
Okay.
too large. I like
Well,
small
yeah.
music.
It's tough when the notes are the size of your bodies. I get it. No, I
Yeah.
get it. Believe me.
And the instruments are so large that we can run through them.
Yeah. No, it's
It's very hard to make a seal so you can.
hard. Yeah. Exactly. Maybe at some point we can like work on like adapters to make the, one pipe, fit over and then,
We do not have enough air in our bodies to get through the instrument. Those instruments require much air.
yeah, maybe we'll hook up like a fan to it and then, Anyway,
Put the
you guys are
mayor
you guys are the
Bagpipe it.
professionals.
Fan, like very excited
Uh,
person. They
No,
have
no,
more
like
air.
a device that blows air in a direction for you.
I'm
Ooh.
sorry. I need to just out of character. I'm okay with them not knowing about that kind of fan, but I'm interested in them knowing about the fanatic type of fan.
They're the music miners. They know about fan.
You also know what groupies are.
I was
So
gonna say they know what groupies are if they're the music finish.
Well, hey, if we ever end up back in the town after all this is settled, maybe we'll check out a performance if things, start to get back to normal. Could be fun to check out some town minute music.
Okay. And so after the conversation doesn't really end, it just becomes an awkward enough silence that you realize that he's not going to say anything else to you.
Well, it's very nice to meet you, Lappy. I'm gonna go back that way.
Okay. And you see them very casually kind of rearranging their circle to the point where it doesn't look, after you leave, it doesn't look like there's really any places that someone could come up and sit inside it.
Those
Like that,
clicky
like that
pressers.
won't stop us. We'll just squeeze on in there, but I've done my part for the night.
Okay. So, anything else you guys want to do before going to sleep?
Do we have like fires going?
Yeah. The tier walkers themselves are relatively used to kind of making their own camps and stuff like that. And Fubara, you yourself are you because you spend so much time in the wilderness. You can make your own fire. You can join someone else's fire. Whatever you like best.
Or... Alright, I would like to nonchalantly go join one of the other Minish's fires and take out a stick and a piece of muffin and start toasting a muffin.
Okay. So as you kind of come over and you start toasting the muffin, again, they've kind of arranged themselves so there's really no space to join their circle. And so you just find an extra long stick and you sit just outside of their circle and like put the stick through and are just roasting it. And you get kind of weird looks. Like if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but people that are quote unquote too polite to say something but really don't want you to be there, and they just kind of give you one of those looks of okay, and then actively try to pretend that they are not very upset that you're there. That's the interaction that you get.
Hubari's very used to this, so she just greets them very cheerfully.
And you're like,
Diminish their capacity to judge you.
Dilly is going to ask Soraya what she would have done if people hadn't talked her out of her idea before.
Which idea? There's plenty.
The one that I think involved torture.
What?
Which one, though?
It's like, yeah,
You're not
no, you
narrowing it
didn't
down
have to
here.
be more specific.
You know what? At this point, maybe
It's
run me
not
through them
torture,
all.
it's a research.
Okay.
There's a difference between the two. It's a
So
very
what were
fine
the
line,
experiments going to be?
The difference being one you just collect data on.
but precisely. The other you just enjoy.
And they collected a lot of data on torture techniques.
They did. They
Huh?
did.
and that
the
made
most-
it
Oh,
science.
Welcome back, Lex.
What the hell? I heard torture techniques and I would excuse me. What did I just walk back into?
Wait,
Billy
let
is
me
asking
clarify
Soraya.
that. It's talking to Soraya.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe you.
No, Dilly is asking Soraya what experiments they would have done if the group hadn't talked them out of it.
Bringing a corrupted munition to a place of worship with potentially purifying powers, would that destroy their body? What would that do? If I take a couple of them, I can see the proximity of like that they can be to this holy power. Like if they're if I take Grandpa and I turn him partially in, when like his feet are in the temple at the same time, while the rest of him is like hanging out to the window, so there's some blockage. Like, would it matter if he is off the ground? Does he have to be on the ground?
You can't.
If he's hurt, then will that make a difference to the speed of the purifying? Like if we cut one arm,
You said he was dripping.
he was dripping shadow, but then the very bright light that I used to blind him and knock him out managed to stop the dripping.
Okay, but if you had cut him, would he have dripped from the cut?
I don't think so because I think it wasn't connected to him, but that's an excellent question. I didn't really have the opportunity because he started to get really sluggish and cold. And his,
Oh, you mean slow. Got it. I thought
yes.
you meant turning into a slug with the dripping and all.
Oh, I see. No, not that time.
Has
So,
that happened in front of you before?
um, different experiment. I won't talk about that one. That one failed. I won't talk about that
Not
one.
that time.
What size is Dilly right now?
Regular, because I can only maintain the small sizes for brief periods of time.
Okay.
Regular for a minish.
Yeah. You guys can't know this, but in a distant land at the Tears Corps headquarters, Kess is just getting this little tear in her eye as she thinks about how well her daughter has followed in her scientific researching footsteps. And then laying
Zolta
next to
feels a
her,
little pain in her heart. It's like, oh.
laying next to her is Zulta, who is just very happy that her daughter is also
A badass.
yeah.
That's how we're going to phrase that.
So, you guys are all able to get some rest. When you wake up, you immediately start going to the Temple of the Minish. And after about 2 hours, you guys can actually start seeing remnants of the temple through the various bits of foliage and the things like that. And pretty soon, you guys are at the gate where you see the leader of the Forest Minish there with the empowered staff. And when he sees this entire group of people coming up, including the Tier Walkers, he goes, "Now, wait a minute. What's going on here? Why are there... I was not expecting you to bring an army."
Do they look like they're an army?
Why did you bring so many? I should have been allowed to bring as many of my people with me.
Yeah, why didn't you?
Yeah. Well, you could have. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good point.
we didn't say no.
I also want to say we don't really need this many people to do the damage of an army, so don't worry about it too much.
Is the mayor's with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he's one of the yeah. I mean, really, it's just two of you need to open the door, and they're just
Witnesses.
there to make him feel comfortable.
And
I mean, look at him. He's just they're just people like the rest of us.
and the mayor kind of goes, "Well, I can see how you might be worried about seeing a group of people that actually care more for each other than themselves. So,
I don't mean to interrupt, but the goddess was very clear on, for, things to happen. We need to not be judgmental of each other, and you need to, I don't know, what is that word, make up. So maybe,
I-
Mayor, don't be a bit of a dick about it.
Sorry, did you say make up or make out?
Up. Make up.
Honestly, I don't think the goddess is picky. Both kind of work.
That's fair. That is fair.
after hearing Soraya go make up or make out, and
Yes.
the leaders of the two groups just kind of look at each other, I believe we can be social without being that social. I concur. Yes, we could do this. Just maybe have your emotional support people further back.
It's a weird word for friends.
So,
Do you not call them your emotional support people?
I will now.
hi, this is my emotional support Kiri, and this is my emotional support Jax. This is my emotional support Ilea.
I mean, I literally have an emotional support wife / hype wife, so. I recommend.
One of the kids or actually two of the kids in the school that I work at, sorry, tangent. The mom wanted to put them in the class together because the friend or the one of the other kids in the class was his emotional support friend. And so the mom fought to put them together, and then the emotional support friend moved out of the state like 2 days later.
Oh
The kid's
Aw.
fine. Kid's fine. But yeah, he was literally referred to as my son's emotional support friend.
That
Sorry.
is a long boy. You guys can't see it because I had to crop it really big, but Calcifer is very long.
Boy.
So,
My emotional support cat, though sometimes he aggravates my emotional well-being. But right now he's being quite good.
So, first, the Force Finish leader comes forward, and the artifact for the Force Finish is a large staff. And so he comes forward, and he kind of presents it, and you can see one of the kind of three glyphs on the Temple of the Minish starts to glow as the staff itself starts to glow. The head of the town Minish comes forward, and his artifact is a scepter. And so he comes forward and he kind of pushes it forward, and you can see a second glyph start to glow as that starts to glow. And as both of them get brighter and brighter, nothing happens. What would y'all like to do?
Is there any further detail about nothing?
Let's go. Well, we gave it a good college try, you know?
All right, bye.
Now kiss!
Um,
There is a third symbol.
oh,
That seems to kind of be reacting, but not really. Seems like it's missing something.
What do these symbols look like?
Each one is basically ancient Minish. So I would say Fubari, with as much as you are very well traveled, your knowledge of ancient history is lacking.
Does ancient Minish have any sort of pictographs or like
It's very
faces?
It's very similar to what's it called? In various Asian languages like Japanese and that, where each symbol does not refer to a sound but an actual word. Does that make sense? So it's not technically it's a pictorial language, but they're not pictures. They're symbols that refer to specific words as opposed to syllables or.
what's the word?
At this point, too, I think that aggressive learning would be helpful.
Sure, if you want to use it.
So
Because,
let me get.
go ahead.
Okay. No, go ahead.
With so if I remember correctly, aggressive learning. You yourself were familiar with the kind of legends of the.
And then I've also read the thoughts of the two leaders.
Oh yeah. So let's put it this way. Why don't you go ahead and make me a power roll real quick, and we'll see
Okay.
where that goes. We'll call
Well,
this for you a difficulty 3.
Cool. I'm gonna use my 2 edge, and then I'm gonna use one of the effort tokens so that doesn't actually lower that. So that
Cool.
should make it a 1.
So
Am I wrong?
edge
I'm
Edge
sorry,
is
I'm
just
fine.
yep, it's perfectly fine. Edge reduces the cost
Yeah.
of things.
Oh, edge reduces the cost. Sorry.
Yeah.
So using the
Effort is
tool-
what actually reduces the level.
Thank you. I mixed those up. I'm sorry, babe.
And if you
my head
use
is
an effort
having a
token,
day.
you don't have to pay anything to apply effort. That's your payment for
Yeah.
applying effort.
Okay. Thank you. I'm so sorry I mixed
It's
those up. I
perfectly
thought it
fine.
was-
They're
Um,
similar
okay,
words.
so I'm gonna do that Does that bring that down to one?
So yeah, if
I
you use
two?
2 effort tokens, which I think is the max you can do, that brings it down to a difficulty 1. So you need a 3 or
Okay,
higher.
that's okay. I was like, I know that there's like a 2 max, and I couldn't remember how that goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Which doesn't matter because that's a 19.
19. Cool. So you actually get a minor effect as well. Which for this particular instance, I am going to choose your minor effect for you. So
Great, I love you.
as everyone's trying to kind of figure out what's going on here, I know your kind of default to dealing with problems is, I have a book for that. And so while everyone else is sitting there and they're kind of arguing, and the 2 Minish leaders are starting to kind of accuse each other of sabotage and things like that, I know just literally just plops down in the middle of everyone and kind of takes a pack out and just starts rifling through it. And every so often you'll see a book kind of fly over her shoulder, which the only reason that I know has no problem throwing the books is because Aki has kind of been trained to where when the book goes flying, Aki catches it and stacks it nicely for her.
I appreciate that, like, the running theme of my characters is that they're fucking floor sitters who just are like, huh.
So,
Zariah sees Aino going through the books. Can she sit down with that alchemy book and then continue to read it?
sure.
Okay.
So, Zariah, slightly less explosive than Aino's searching, sits down and just takes the book out and starts reading. But
Yeah, it's
eventually,
reading.
Aino, you take out the book that has references to the Picori and the Minish, and you're going through, and you eventually see excerpts of ancient Minish writing from the regular world, which just so happens to coincide with this. And you remember when you were really young, you found this book and you found this writing, and you because your caretaker, that I'm forgetting his name right now, Johan,
Go on.
had done this to you quite a few times, where he would add pages to books and things like that with puzzles in them, because you were a very puzzle motivated child. And so if he would hide puzzles inside of things, it would force you to read more. And after after years of doing this, you developed a strong desire to read in addition to puzzles. But puzzles was kind of your link. And so when you're going through this book, you thought that this was a puzzle that was put in there for you to solve, not realizing that this was just a dead language that no one had translated.
This
and
is
so-
so Aino appropriate.
This is your minor effect. So you had spent probably like a year and a half or 2 years when you were younger translating this dead language and trying to find meaning. And again, because it's a dead language and you had very limited resources to translate it with, it's not like you can read it. But you were able to at least figure out the basis of the language itself and some of the more grammatical structures and the things like that. And so as you're sitting there, you're going, I know this. And then you look up and you see, so the first symbol, very, very roughly translated, is effectively town Minish, or safe Minish would technically be a more appropriate term. And then the second one, again, would be very, very roughly translated as forest Minish, or more closely to kind of exploration or excited Minish. The words are very, very similar in Ancient Minish. And the third one is a combination of both of those ideas, effectively meaning, come together, something similar to that idea. So something
Bye.
involving both town and forest Minish.
I don't suppose, Bubari, you have anything on you that might seem like relic
Seemed like
or
what?
something? like a relic, or I don't know if it requires an actual object. Actually, could you stand between the two gentlemen and hold hands?
Guys, it's okay. You don't have to hold each other's hands, okay? It's
You just
just
have to hold Fubari because Fubari is such a beautiful example of why both of you are very stupid.
what she's trying to
No,
say.
Wow.
no, hang on,
Wow.
hang on. What I'm
I
trying
assume
to
that
say,
Dilly is next to the himbo watching this happen and kind of
what
just
I
takes
am
out
trying
something
to
that looks
say
suspiciously like popcorn.
is
Zoe is like,
Oh,
oh,
thank
that's
you.
my best friend.
this wonderful, brilliant, brilliant, lovely Minish has lived among both of you and found the good of both of you. She has explored. Whew. She has explored, and she has also been able to live among the Hylians and see the harmony that can be had in this coexistence. She is a perfect melding of your two worlds, which I believe is what that symbol is, if I am correct. And I don't mean to toot horn, but I am usually correct.
Bari's
Try to
sitting there
like
eating muffins.
I try to whisper to Fubari, just like, use your oldest muffin.
I will say, Fubari, when your first night away from the town Minish, after you got over the no man's land, uh, as does happen to people on a regular basis when they first start on a kind of life changing journey, one of the first experiences you have a lot of times tends to be, oh shit, I fucked up. This is really, really bad. And so on your first night, it's raining and you're having a hard time finding a place to stay dry. And nature, in and of itself, is much louder than it seems when you're living in a home. Like, nature is remarkably loud. And so you're trying to find a place that's dry, and you're trying to get away from all of the different creatures around you, and mud and moss and things that smell bad and things that smell good, but you realize they smell good because they are bad and they're attracting things so that they can do bad things to them, like eat them. And you're just not having fun, and you eventually just find a spot where there's a leaf that is kind of acting as a perfect umbrella, and you sat down there and had a little cry. And you're like, this was such a bad idea. I should go home. And you saw something glinting in the distance. And so, because you were already soaked, you went out and you found this tiny little thing that kind of looked like a gear, but not quite. It was made of stone. And it became kind of your good luck charm. It was one of the things that inspired you to start kind of artificing, because you would make kind of copies of this and use that for various little gadgets that you would make. But you've always kept that on you. And as I know, is kind of going, Fubari, you come here. And she makes you kind of hold hands. You suddenly feel this kind of warmth coming from one of your pupa pockets. And as you kind of reach in, you can see this little good luck charm that you've had for years now is glowing very, very brightly. And as you kind of look at it, and I know you just have one of those I knew it moments, you
Don't tell me I know for nothing.
you watch as the center symbol starts to kind of glow as Fubari, your good luck charm, glows brighter and brighter. And suddenly all the glowing stops. All of the items become inert. All of the all of these symbols just stop glowing, and the world becomes very silent for a moment. And as you all start wondering, shoot, did we do something wrong? You suddenly hear this very loud cracking sound, almost like a bolt of lightning had just struck nearby and a huge peal of thunder had ripped amongst you. And you watch as the center of the Temple of the Minish wall that you guys are in front of starts to shake and move, and it slowly starts raising higher, higher, higher. And it's very, very dark in there, but as it finally gets to its zenith, you guys can all look in, and you can see a figure kind of hanging in the darkness. And as the light starts to spill over them, you see something looking somewhat Minish-like, wearing deep, dark purple robes and a strange, dark purple hat. Yes, I know?
I'm sorry, did you say hanging?
Well, suspended in the air. Sorry. No. I understand.
I was like,
Floating. I
I'm-
apologize.
no worries. I just needed to clarify.
Yep. Floating in the air. And the two leaders of the Minish immediately kind of shriek back a little bit, and you both hear them say, Vati. As you guys are looking at it, you suddenly hear this voice that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. Oh, is that what they call this, weakling? And suddenly the figure that's floating there starts to kind of change and kind of fade, almost like you dropped a pebble into a lake and have ruined the reflection on it. And suddenly, laying behind it, you can see the form of this creature. She looks to still be breathing, but she looks to be unconscious, very similar to the shadow sickness patients that you guys have been seeing. And behind her is this huge, dark, foreboding creature. Well, this was unexpected. What would y'all like to do?
Dilly froze when they showed up with like a popcorn piece here, and then just slowly puts it in their mouth and tries to chew as silently as possible.
Narrator, it was not silent.
I am moving so slowly that you cannot detect.
Nothing goes over my head. I am too quick. I will catch him.
Just
him so much.
while I detect that they're monologuing, just a sort of historical and tactical rundown for what I can see of this creature.
As
Does it
far
look
as
familiar? Does it look
familiar,
what does it look like it can do?
familiar would
that
be a
sort of stuff?
stretch, but it is a large, semi-humanoid looking creature, but it seems to be created entirely out of shadows. It is probably, compared to you guys, it's probably at least double your height, and probably about 3 times as wide as any of you guys. There are no specific features aside from a pair of eyes. And as you look a little bit closely, you notice that one arm ends in a very kind of human-looking hand, whereas everything else is these big shadows, but it just has this single, almost mummified-looking hand attached to one of its limbs.
Zoraya's
we should
gonna.
absolutely burn the fuck out of that man.
I'd say, Zoraya's actually gonna close the book and kind of look and go, "Oh, good, something to play with."
Dilly's gonna offer some popcorn to the himbo next to them.
Gonna take the popcorn and just, in like a mockumentary style, it just cuts to Dilly and I just like staring at a camera going, this is fun. We like to watch this and just see what happens.
It was not until just now that I realized when Ilea was referring to the himbo beside them that they meant that.
Yeah, 100%. No question in my mind.
I mean, There's
I
only
was
one in the group.
expecting them
Let's
to
Maybe-
literally
maybe one of the town
describe
ministers is a
them
himbo, we
as
just don't
a
know it.
himbo. When
I
doing
just
the
was
introduction.
expecting that there would be a name used, and I loved it. It was just, I was like, ah, the himbo beside Dilly. Great.
Yeah, look, honestly, nicknames happen a lot. It's like in the
The
moment.
himbo beside them sounds like a really funny song. I don't know.
I do think that'd be like.
So
I'd
as you
say
all are
people
kind of
honestly.
absorbing this, the creature again speaks. I guess I should thank you. You're much faster than my plan. But of course, Tear Walkers, you seem to be very quick in what you do. Do find it odd that you were able to get these Minish to work together. I didn't think that was possible.
Oh, we've got very convincing.
I'm
people
really
here.
smart.
Yes,
Whispering-
well-
I do have a background in sales and pitching.
Whispering to Mato, Dilly just goes, "Did I know summon a devil?" I'm not surprised if that's the case,
Released
but
one. It's fine.
The fact that you think that a reject from the Zonai librarians could summon something as powerful as I am shows how truly little you understand what you have.
you don't know. They know. Because they're I know.
Also, I was not rejected, so that shows what you know.
I think we understand
Also,
a
you
little
didn't
more
expect
than
us to do this, which also shows what you don't know. This is actually fun. Let me tell you other things. you don't know.
Let me tell you other things you don't know. We'll be here for a while.
We're just poking at
You
the
just,
devil man.
Oh, I hear. Let me tell you what other thing that's fun. And you just see appear from behind, I know, a giant whiteboard. and now she's holding like a little pointer stick to be like, all right, number one.
So,
You know
so
what's
there's
really fascinating is how much you resemble that failure of a mother of yours.
Okay.
And he
hold
looks
on.
directly at Zariah.
Yeah, I was waiting. I'm like, which mother?
I'm going to say, I don't have a mother. I have, like,
Okay.
But you have the stench of that brat.
Oh, do you mean my father? He was so sweet.
No, I mean, what did she
My
call
other mum.
herself?
Yeah, I was like, wait.
My other mum.
We're
My other
revealing
mum.
something here.
That stupid thief that by accident got something amazing.
Oh, do you mean Aunt Trell?
That's it.
I have a question.
Well, he's
I need to know
monologuing.
which mother is the failure.
Yeah, be more
Talking
specific.
My mother, my other mother. Oh, my other mother.
He was talking about Cass.
Did you say there was like a prostrate female figure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are,
I think that's the
are
right one.
any of
She's
them,
on her back. Whichever one is, she's on her back.
Are
So
any
I
of
always
them
confuse prostrate and
recognizable?
prone.
Or I should say, are either of them recognizable
That's
to the
prone.
Minish? Like, do we know who these are?
Well, you guys, like, there's a legend from a long time ago that there was a Minish that just went really, really bad named Vati. That was able to kind of harness kind of shadow and dark magic and turn themselves into this incredibly powerful sorceress.
Dilly's gonna whisper to Mato, "Don't hit on them."
Why not?
And so the prostrate figure
Mano or
resembles the
Desh?
stories somewhat. You know, legends embellish things, so it's not exactly
Okay.
1-to-1, but it resembles the stories. This creature, though, never heard of anything like it.
Okay, so the prostrate figure kind of looks like the legendary Vati.
Mhm.
Okay.
This other thing just looks like a strange kind of shadow that is on
I'm-
roids.
I know you.
But similar to what
Zariah's-
body looks like.
Don't hit
No.
on them.
They don't look anything like
don't touch my
Vati.
aunt's people.
Dang
The thing with Vati, her kind of symbol and kind of calling card was a single large eye. And this creature actually has a pair of relatively small eyes in the face, in the region where a face would normally be. But the only kind of material aspect of this creature is this strange kind of mummified hand on its right, at the end of its right arm. Yes.
So-
Really quickly, someone has raised their hand. Yes, Adesh?
I had a finger.
Jax and I are on
Oh,
the same
sorry.
page. But yeah, I think we've heard enough context clues, and I'm just curious to know from the stories we've heard from the heroes of the realms, um, if they told us about the Shadow Hand incident.
Oh yes, Zariah had definitely heard about it from Montreal.
Yeah, I
She
would say
wants
Most of us know
it.
about
She
it.
wants it very badly.
I would say probably Zariah would be the only person because the rest of them like probably wouldn't have shared that story.
Great. Then I say and realize nothing yet.
Yes, I know.
Oh wait, Chax, did you get to say your thing, babe?
No, that was what it was in regards to.
Okay.
So,
Okay, I
oh
just
wait,
wa-
you
I
can
wanted
say
to
something
make-
first.
Okay, I wanted to. It's a real twofold thing.
Okay.
Bear with me. Okay, first, you said it's mummified. Do you mean genuinely mummified?
More desiccated than mummified.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
so there's not,
desiccation
like,
is
an
a form of mummification. It's natural
There's-
mummification. We can go through the process. Think about this. It is in the chat for everyone to read if they want to read about mummification in ancient Egypt. Sorry.
But it's not like
yeah.
wrapped or
Where did
anything.
Aaliyah-
Let's put it this way.
Aaliyah
It's
came-
not wrapped.
And Ilea came into the chat into the scene for a moment.
Okay, it's not wrapped, so you're saying like no embalming fluid or whatnot. So we're
Just
talking
like-
about like just corpse-like.
Dry gangrene.
Yes, but preserved.
Mm.
Like as much as you don't see embalming fluid or anything like that, it's not like rotting or anything. It's just
It's natural
there-
desiccation.
yeah,
Is
naturally
there
desiccated.
still what you might consider fat on the body?
Not that you can see. It's mostly skin and bones, but it does have skin
Okay,
and
that's okay.
fingernails and
Skin
things.
is still flammable. Sorry, I'm just making sure if I have accelerants at my disposal. No, embalming fluid is highly flammable.
This would be
So-
kind of like if you put a hand into salt for a long time, like a rapid desiccation.
Okay, cool. So
process.
it's dry.
Yeah.
Sweet. That does make it more flammable than a regular moist person. Moist. Ooh. Can I?
My favorite thing about
well-
this group is just as soon as I give you information, it's like, how can I destroy this thing instantly?
Oh no,
Look,
he's monologuing. I'm taking
you
advantage
should
of
know.
this. I would
Mhm.
like to just now that I know that as a player, I would like to, as he's monologuing, and she's absolutely egging him on because it's like, oh, you got an ego on you, Shadow Man. So that he keeps talking. She is trying to glean whatever she can with aggressive learning about basically this hand that is the only corporeal thing of like, if I target this, does that seem like the shadow cannot continue to exist?
Why don't you roll me a power check to see what you can kind of glean from this? I'll call this a difficulty because this is very different than what you're used to. I'm going to call this a difficulty 5.
That's totally fair. I'm gonna use some oh my God, I'm so sorry. Mom, I'm gonna use 2 more effort tokens to bring
Okay.
that down
To
to
a
a
3.
3.
And then if you do have anything, any skills that you think might somewhat apply, that can lower it another level.
Vicious mockery.
Holland mockery.
So on your character, I'll bring up your character sheet so I can look at it.
I don't think so. Because I think aggressive learning would be the thing. Unless, I mean, maybe the experience with the Aurora and how the light powers work might. Because it does seem to be, at least, I mean, you know better than me. You don't have
Well,
to give that
so-
away. But the idea of like,
You
so it does seem tied to a physical object. This does seem like it might be related to.
well, one of your skills is perception,
Oh, that's right. Thank
and
you.
you're actually specialized in it. So
I
that would
hate
lower it by 2 levels.
Okay.
So if you want to claim that this is you're visually looking for clues, we can
Oh, absolutely.
we
okay.
can call that perception. So that brings
that
it down
brings
to
it
a
from-
1.
Oh, fantastic.
While she's doing that, you
Mhm.
said this person is emanating shadows, but is anything are what's happening to the shadows around that hand?
Um, the shadows seem to be enveloping the hand as opposed to the hand emitting shadows. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I just burned through 2 of my reroll tokens,
Okay.
which I know I didn't need to. Well, I needed to on one because one was literally a 1, and I'm like, nope, reroll. Then the other one was a 9, which would have been okay. But then I rerolled again, and I got a 20.
All right. So
Hell
think about
yeah.
what major effect
Look,
you
I had
want.
I had 11. I had 11 reroll tokens, so I'm like,
Yeah,
Jesus.
let's do it. So
Alright,
think about a
half of
major
those
effect that you'd
digits.
like. Or well, here we'll
can
we'll call
I?
your major
Yeah,
effect.
can I know what I 'cause I don't know what would be irrelevant. Uh,
Effectively, a major effect is basically you become DM for a sentence,
no,
somehow
absolute
related
baby.
to this.
I'm just not sure until I know what I'm learning, what would even be related, if that's
Sure. Well,
okay.
let's start with what you're
I will
learning.
also take a suggestion. Oh, sorry. I said,
All right. Well,
I'll also take a suggestion.
sure. So right now, as you're sitting there looking this over, trying to figure out what it is, you very similar to what Zariah noticed. You notice that the hand itself is not emanating the shadow. The shadows are not coming from the hand. The hand is enveloped and kind of held by the shadows itself, almost as if it's wielding the hand as opposed to being grown from the hand. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. In addition to that, kind of looking over the creature, to anyone else, you would basically just be seeing this kind of rolling, modulating mass of shadows. But you, being the kind of puzzle solver that you are, you start seeing patterns to the rolling. And you start seeing a particular shape that keeps showing up repeatedly as an image within the shadows as they're rolling. And you're trying to figure out where you remember seeing that shape because it looks very familiar. And eventually you can see around the wrist of the hand, there is like a bracelet or something, and hanging from it is an object. It's relatively small and it's very, very dark colored, so it's very difficult to see it when the hand itself is enveloped in the shadows. And again, the item looks really, really familiar, and then it suddenly clicks. When you guys went into to that Sheikah hideout, and there was that device there that was emanating all those shadows, the thing inside of it, this looks identical. It's smaller, but it looks identical to
The
whatever
Yiga
the
hideout?
thing was. Yes. Where you guys
Ooh.
met, you guys followed Arel after the Yiga attack.
Wait, where you touched the item and got the shadow powers, and Zariah was instantly upset with you because no
Yeah.
one would let her touch it.
Yep.
Wait,
So,
why did no one look at that?
well, bad things happened when Adesh
Would
touched it, so.
you let Zariah touch it?
Yes,
For science.
Well, I think I have to go back and
for
watch it.
science
It was a complicated situation.
and power.
Yeah, it wasn't technically, no one actually touched it. It was just Zariah was kind of in the realm of shadows, and Adesh came in and touched Zariah while she was trapped by these shadows, and then he got infected with shadow fire.
Um, question.
Answer.
Solution?
Um,
Spaghetti.
Yeah,
the charge power, does that require touch?
Uh, which
It does not
charge?
say.
Which charge
I
power?
have shock and charge and bolt
Oh,
rider.
um,
Or is it possible to use shock or bolt rider to then charge something?
there's nothing in the description of charge that says that limits it to the touch. But I'm going to say because it does require a large amount of energy, you need to be within like 5 feet of the object to be able to get enough energy into it. It'd not be something you could do at an extremely far range. I would say you don't need to be
Darn
physically
it.
touching it. Does that make sense?
So Zariah
Yeah.
was able to grow plants that assisted with the traveling of lightning that Ino had channeled before. I know if that's something that you're interested in getting closer.
I wanted to see if I could literally make that stupid little thing light up so it was literally easier for other people to see it and thus be an easier target.
Sure. You have a major effect.
Wait, is that something I could do?
Well, due to a lot of things that you guys don't know yet, I will say that because major effect effectively kind of rewrites reality a little bit. So if you would like to make that kind of flash, you won't be able to make it glow permanently, but you, I'll say with your major effect, you can basically make it kind of blink so that everyone is aware
Kind
of
of
it
like a
now.
little Aurora moment.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So she's just kind of sort of smiling as he monologues and goes on about how we're all rejects and and it goes like, interesting. Yes, we know nothing. It's true.
And he looks down at it. He's like, "Oh, so you like my new jewelry?" "Yes. Well, your kind made it. So I assume you would be very fascinated with it. Secret
No,
stones
just-
are so useful."
So that's where we're targeting, y'all.
It's amusing that you think you could do anything to hurt me.
Okay,
No, what's confusing is
Mr.
that someone who thinks he's so all-knowing doesn't seem to understand that hubris is historically the greatest downfall for everyone.
Look, Mr.
Absolutely. It would be moronic for someone in my position, someone effectively trapped with a very tiny, insignificant army, but army nonetheless, right as his doorstep, to continue just sitting here talking. I mean, you all could be preparing a brilliant plan to attempt to attack me, trap me, many different things.
Easy liar. It's so obvious he lies. It's lie better. I'm actually insulted right now. This is
My favorite thing is you're accusing this man of a skill issue.
hey. I respect that you are, you're big and dark and woo, and we're supposed to be scared of you, and you're going to lie because, of course, look at you. But really, you're going to lie like that? That's good. It's just.
And what
Be better.
exactly do you believe I
Oh,
am
I
lying
don't know you.
about?
I know it's just straight up mocking him.
Hey, Dilly, you got more popcorn?
Kiri, you were one of my
Just
favorite
silently.
people ever.
I love you. I'm sorry.
Mr.
Sad part, I have been working on this voice for like a month now to get everything
Oh no,
to do it.
it's great. He's just so big bad. That she's
Yeah,
got to make fun of
100%.
him.
Surprisingly
Yes.
enough, using this voice without damaging your vocal cords, harder than it sounds.
It's not easy.
Yeah, I
You make it
would
look
have
easy.
I would have been strained by the time by now for sure.
No, for you.
Whenever I know stops mocking him actively,
I don't think that happens.
or whenever
Yeah,
there's a slight
impossible.
pause for
Okay.
break.
Sorry, I just kind of see from, is it Guardians 2? Where the guy's talking and the blue guy goes, "Ah, blah, 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 blah." And I went, "Ah, blah, 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 blah." I just kind of see Kira going, "Ah,
It's been a
Wow.
while.
I'm
Been a while
just
since
not
I've seen that.
impressed by like, oh, you're so stereotypical. It's actually upsetting. Like I have read about this in so many books. Lie better.
Mr. Shadow person
You don't
who
even know what lies are, and I know you are lying.
seems to know a lot of, like, you seem to get the full picture here. I'm guessing, are from where we from and are able to in some way kind of get into these tiers like we are. I'm guessing not through the same means. What's your goal here? Why are you doing the shadow
Actually,
sickness?
if I can pause you for a second, Adesh, because he might not be from where we're from, but the hand is definitely from one we're from, where we're from. Because I had an interesting thing in our Hyrule. So Autorel faced it at one point, and as she got, it was in the circle of light that nullified her shadow magic, and as she got closer and closer, it started to talk to her. So it might not be that the Minish had actually been there. It could be the hand that has taken over the Minish that's here, or convinced him, because he definitely seems like he's a little bit full of himself and easy to convince that he's all powerful. A little bit naive in that sense.
So wait, you know the hand?
I do know the hand.
Are you a hand?
Did your Aunt Rel tell you what she
Aunt
did?
excuse you. She tried to take it and use it so that she could nullify all the other shadow areas. And what else did she do? I really don't want to know what my Aunt Terrell did with a emancipated, but also lone hand. But please enlighten me.
Well, when they first discovered me, Dash is sitting there going, I don't think we want to hear this story.
But also kind of.
Motto's like, please go on.
Go on. He goes, well,
Sorry. So you said me. Do you mean the hand or the body?
when they found
That's what I
me,
thought. Continue.
I was trapped, limited by a mistake. I had reached for power that I was not yet ready to contain. Instead of attempting to deal with me, they made a deal. They decided they would let me leave.
Literally is here because he made a hubris mistake, and now he's like, clearly, I will not make that again. I'm sorry, I love you so much. I love this. It's great.
Bye, Elias.
Bye, Elias.
All the cropping is weird, but pretend that you can still hear
You're a
us.
No,
beautiful
I missed the
mosaic, you
phrase.
guys.
I
You're a
missed the
beautiful
phrase.
mosaic.
There we go. All right,
Getting
so
faster.
Oh, I'm now a dash. Huzzah. So I can hit on things again. Oh, dang.
So, he goes, they decided to free me from my prison in exchange for leaving them alone, which I was more than happy to do. And I was soon discovered by the Yiga. The, ingenious people that they are. They thought I was a god. They started to worship me, bring me gifts, one of which was my secret stone. And with this stone, I learned not just to control my power, but to grow it.
So
to
what
give
you're
me
telling
control
us?
over reality itself.
So what you're telling us is you were not smart enough to successfully hide from the Yiga, who are ridiculously easy to fool. Continue.
I'm just wondering, are you responsible for the tears? Like, just, I understand some of us are being,
Condescendingly truthful.
Really?
condescending, but I am
Be
curious,
truthful.
like, did you make these tiers? Like, what's your role in all this? What's your game?
I can't give you all the answers, can I? It
Oh,
will
but
be
you
fair
give us what you
to all
want.
the other parties involved. I guess I can tell you that these are not my creations, but I have found ways to benefit from them. Unfortunately for me, this place was designed to contain someone with a very similar power to mine. Really made things difficult. I appeared in, what do you call it, a tier? I appeared in this tier inside a containment vessel. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to break out of it on my own. So I started concocting a plan that apparently was superfluous.
So you can only appear where the crystals are in each tier. Is that correct?
I'll let you figure that one out on your
It
own.
seems like it. And you know, that's the only reason you would have been forced to appear here. Um, so yeah, like what was this? What was your end goal here with this plan? What did you want from this tier?
I've already got it.
Oh,
I expanded my
well,
power,
okay.
absorbed this sorry excuse for a sorcerer.
Sure, great. Win-win.
And now, you've given me a way to leave. I really have so much respect and admiration for what you've done here. I assumed no one would be able to bring these two warring factions together. Well,
It took some
not
work.
voluntarily.
Some work and some luck. Um, so when you say leave, you mean leave the chamber into the world or leave the tier itself?
Oh, I have no more use for this tier.
Yeah, all right. Have you
How
been
far
to
away is he?
Let's say maybe 150, 200 feet.
What is the range on my Inferno Wall level 7?
Oh boy. Here
That's
we
a
go.
fantastic question.
Because it tells me that it makes a 30 by 30 by 1 foot thing. Oh, it might be small. I'm sorry. Tiny little thing. No, it does
Effectively,
not tell me what the range. Just lasts for
effectively,
10 minutes.
it's as far as you can throw it. However, you have a slingshot, so technically your range would be larger than the average. I would say it would be short range for a normal person, which is within about 50 feet. For you, I would say it would be long range, which is within about 100 feet.
But he's further than that?
Right now, yes.
Dang it.
That's okay. He can be closer.
You can also just walk up to him.
Part of me is curious
I could
if
also
during this I could have just started to slowly like inch closer and closer.
Well, you did have your major effect. So I can say in addition to being able to not only spot the secret stone but kind of flash it for everyone to see, you also have been doing, like my dog used to do this, where they weren't allowed in the kitchen or in the dining room when we were eating. So what they would do is they would lay down at the very edge of the dining room. And it was just like, boom. And then they would sit up, but instead of like a normal dog where they sit up by just kind of moving backwards onto their butt, he would scooch his butt forward and then he'd lay down again, which would put his paws forward. And then he just kind of sat his way in.
So
Yeah, I know.
sneaky.
So
In that vein, then, is it possible for Eki to deliver this?
Sure, if you wanted to give it to a key, that's perfectly fine.
Great, because he's gonna keep watching me and ignore this cute little foxy.
Okay.
So, in that vein, then, is I know the little kid who's not allowed to have his tablet in the kitchen and is not allowed to eat in the living room, so he goes across the border of the two. So his food's in the kitchen, but his tablet's in the living room.
Yes,
hmm
Okay.
I know is 100% you have given me a verbal boundary, and I am going to be within it. To the letter, not the spirit.
So yeah. So while this is all happening, I know as soon as you notice that secret stone, you realize that something about that is important. You were already kind of communicating with Ino non-verbally, and in order to kind of mask it, you kind of like take a key down and you like petting him. You're like, "Oh, do you want something to eat?" And you give him
A little tear.
the tear as if it is a morsel of food or a toy for him to play with. And then Aki seems very, very happy to just kind of wander around and play with his new toy, just very slowly getting closer and closer outside of the line of sight and looking very nonchalant while he does it.
So
Just
I
let me know
continue.
when you would like that to happen.
Um, what I would like to try. So it's 30 by 30 by 1 foot. Is it like 1 foot height, or what is,
1 foot
or
thick.
1 foot
So
wide?
it's a firewall spell.
Cool. How? I feel bad because I'm giving absolutely no consideration to Vati right now, but you know what? Yeah.
he's dried up.
Yeah. How long is this arm? Because you said that it's much bigger than we are. Would you say that like the forearm is
It
about a
ends
foot?
ends about here.
Cool.
If you've ever seen, because I did take inspiration from this, if you've ever seen a visual depiction of the hand of Vecna,
Yep.
Yeah.
very similar
But it's
size wise. So it
it's
cuts off
very
just below the wrist.
okay. Um, cool, cool, cool. I would like to try. And by try, I mean I have 8 more reroll tokens to try to make this work and 5 player infusions and 2 more efforts. I would like to try to use the Inferno Wall to cut specifically the bracelet
Mm-hmm.
thing off from the rest of him. Or basically, if like the hand is there, it goes to try and sever the shadows that are puppeting it.
Okay. Um,
So I don't need to trap him in the Inferno Wall,
okay. So
just the hand. So if possible, and I understand
due
if that
to no no no,
if I'm
I understand
pushing.
completely. Due to the like power of this particular creature, um, uh, it is a challenge rating 10 creature.
I get you.
So you would need to roll a 30 in order to be able to do that.
And if I bring it down to an 8, I would need to roll
24.
24 on a
4.
d20.
Okay. And is there anything I can add to that to bring it down further?
Can we assist in any way?
You'd have a skill, but that would still bring it to 21. Or asset, maybe.
Yeah, you can do max of 2 assets, which would do. Then it would be like what, 18 at that moment.
I don't know.
So you could
That's
have
Brody.
a maximum of 2 assets, and right now your effort is maxed at 2. So
Oh,
theoretically,
would
if
that
you
be
had 2
4?
assets, and that,
Theoretically
it
to
would
18.
bring it
Yeah,
down
yeah.
to a difficulty 18.
Got to figure out those 2 assets, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot. All right.
Alright.
What would be so given what I have learned from Zariah about shadow power at this point,
Mm-hmm.
I know. Oh, wait.
So the thing is,
Oh, but I don't have
I will
access
go
to
as
the
far as
manual
to
for.
say if you succeed in what it is that you're doing, um, just to get some metagaming out of the way,
No, that's fair. That's
um,
fair.
the if you succeed at what you're doing, you will not be able to sever the hand or take the secret stone from him. It will have an effect. that will be beneficial to you if you can roll high enough and get the assets and everything. It will be beneficial to you, but that's just being able to take the secret stone or damage the hand is not something you guys are currently capable of doing. You
I was trying to
just
see if
simply
I could
don't
get him
have
to drop it even momentarily, but
Yeah, that unfortunately
attached,
is not
right?
something you have the power to do currently.
no, that is
If
fair. That is fair.
So I
So
didn't want to give you guys kind of false hope that
no, I
you could do
appreciate
this.
that. It might not. It might then not be worth.
Oh, so this is like a big, big bad.
yeah,
Mhm.
we're not fighting
Yeah.
him right now.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking that this, like, guys, is this the fucking hand we encountered in the last thing?
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is. It's the
It's
one that
100%.
nullified.
Oh, it's the hand.
Abrel's.
Who
Yeah,
was
it's the
Yeah.
hand from the ground.
originally, I think,
Oh,
like
it's-
a Yiga guy that
Which is
just went
also
on his
hilarious
shadow
that he's
journey.
calling that he's insulting our parents, or
Yeah.
your guys' parents, I guess.
Oh, well,
He's-
that makes
Because
sense.
Got an ego to
he
him.
was absolutely in a such little bitch position.
Well, he
I mean,
fought
on
Link
brand
and
for-
lost, so
I mean, this is on brand also for when we met him the first time around.
Yeah. I do. I'm like, oh, remember how he was like, I'm done. You're basically.
I just made that
Dude, I don't have to
connection.
free you from this.
Can
I
Fubati
remember the
poke-
threat Tess gave him.
Arel
Ooh.
wanted to take a finger. We should have let Arel take a finger.
Can
All right, hold
Fubari
on, let him
what?
cook.
Can
Sorry,
Fubari-
uh,
Sorry, go ahead, Fubari.
Fubari?
can Fubati poke Dilly and ask for some context because she's really confused at this point?
Dilly is actually the only person that actually knows anything about this is actually Zariah.
Right.
You made an interesting choice here with who to vote.
Well, I assume we're just
Dilly
sitting
is
back
just
here eating
enjoying it.
snacks.
Yeah.
We're just eating
Yeah.
snacks in the back.
Yeah,
What's
after
going
eating
on?
popcorn, I
Dilly!
share it to
Dilly is like
The Fubari.
2 steps above Himbo.
I look forward to
Knowing-
hearing Dilly's explanation.
Knowing that's not what I can do,
Mm-hmm.
does it seem even remotely possible to close the door in his face again? He hasn't left.
Due to the fact that you guys don't know how 100% how the door works, other than you just figured out how to open it, you know I know could eventually figure it out. But as far as in the moment here, you just don't have
Oh, that's
you don't have the
fair.
data.
He's also going to leave the tier. I'm assuming he's telling the truth about that. He seems like
All
he's
right.
done with the place.
Then, okay, then I would like to take back the thing with the tier and
Sure.
because that I don't think that would be worth
That's
wasting that. But I would like to read his surface thoughts.
Sure.
Sorry.
I need you to make. Yeah, I need you to make a difficulty 8. No, I guess this would still be a difficulty 10.
Wait, really? Oh, damn it.
Power check. No, this is not to read his thought. This is to resist the backlash. This is
For
a
what?
saving throw, effectively.
Okay. What would-
actions
okay,
and consequences.
Remind me of so for the saving throw then,
It's the exact same mechanic.
is it
You're
still a power?
It's still a power check.
Okay.
The only difference is succeeding is not going to mean that your power works. Your power is just going to work. You don't have to roll
Okay.
for the power. This is for you to resist the fact that you're reading Cthulhu's brain.
Yeah,
It's a hard
that's
thing to do.
fair.
Hard read.
Really quickly.
So I'm
When
definitely
we
gonna
assist-
use my those 2 efforts still.
Or actually, I guess we could call this a power defense roll, because that's what a saving throw is. So we'll call it a
Jax,
power
do you-
defense roll.
Do you have something that might affect this?
How does
I'm
that
sorry.
work
I'm
on
really,
you?
really sorry. I didn't
You're
mean
fine.
to interrupt you. I just was doing things wrong. Chax, did you have something? All right. I apologize. I was working through the problem as you were speaking.
Okay.
If she needs an
I
asset,
thought I heard the word assist from Chet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you said really quickly,
Can
which is what I thought it was.
can
time
you even
sensitive.
assist from can you even assist defense rolls?
Well, I'm
Just like anything else.
trying to be an
Okay.
asset just by continuing to talk to him and just blatantly and openly asking him questions and
Um, Ooh, can a key count as an assist asset
You would have
in our
to
relationship?
explain how they're going to help you kind of fortify your mind. So,
In the same way that when we meld
okay,
and I am
I'm
in
good with
danger,
that. I'll give
I would
you.
like it to kind of work as a fail-safe where like the moment it feels like there is a backlash, it's suddenly like almost like a boom of like fuck you
Yeah,
of
no,
a keenness. Um,
I'd be willing to. Yeah, I'll say that
okay.
he counts as an asset. That brings it
Okay. And
to
then
level 9.
does a dashes count?
I'm going to bring up the topic of if he's aware of how large a threat the Supreme Potentate is.
Uh,
Because I figure
okay,
that might distract him a little bit enough to be an asset here.
sure.
And
I'll.
also, I would like to know that information.
Okay.
The extreme potentate was the guy from the last realm, right?
Yeah,
He's the guy out there
Yes.
killing tears right now.
He was
Oh, right.
potentially evil.
Wow.
sure. I'm
Look, I'm struggling.
I'm good with that. That'll give you a second asset. So
Cool.
you've maxed out your assets. If you want to use
Great.
both levels of effort, it's now a difficulty
Um,
6.
Which would be 18 or
Is
higher.
it?
I'm just gonna check. I want to
Alright.
see. You're not trained in power defense, are you?
I'm not, but
No.
I'm not.
But
I'm not
you're not hindered. You don't have an
I'm
inability
not
in it.
hindered. Okay.
Okay.
You got this, Carrie.
All right. Well, I've got 8 more reroll tokens.
Yep.
18 or higher is what you're looking for.
I I am now sadly out of my effort after this, if anyone is interested. But I do have 5 player intrusions, but I don't know what I can
If
use that
anyone's
for.
interested in knowing that information.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Hang on, I'm doing some rerolls. Boom! After my third, I got a 19.
All right.
Yeah.
So it does give you a minor effect, and for some bizarre reason, I think some effort tokens are coming your way as well.
Wild.
I love you.
So, as you activate this power, the first thing that happens, you have like surface thoughts of everyone kind of going through, which is fine, and you kind of focus in on this being, and instantly you feel like instant migraine hits you, and the rest of you actually watch as
Ego is really painful to endure.
it is very much so. You guys watch as Aino actually like, even Though Aino's still like floor sitting there and just oh well, and she has her books and says, oh, this is very nice. You watch,
Petting my phone.
yeah. You watch as Aino, almost as if she's been hit by something, is launched backwards. And a key, when it happens, you watch as a key kind of jumps into the air, and there's this big flash of lightning that happens, and a key gets launched back as well. But he lands slightly before Aino and kind of rushes forward, and before Aino's like head can hit the ground, a key is right there, kind of bracing her and kind of wrapping her in his tail. And he's in. If you've ever seen a fox, when they feel threatened, they get really low to the ground and their ears go back and so he's there. I know you are overwhelmed with this immense feeling of kind of pain and suffering and anger and all of the kind of like negative aggressive emotions, disgust, anger, um, uh, um, just everything to the point where you start experiencing some of those feelings yourself. You know, it's not fair that these people get to do that, or that this happened here, or like you're instantly going through all of these feelings, and you just feel at the very kind of back of your mind this kind of soothing presence of a key. It's just sitting there and doing everything that they can to shield you from this, but it's such an overwhelming wave of negative, destructive emotions that you almost lose consciousness. But the one, and this, I guess this will be your minor effect. The one thing that you are able to, unless you hit something else, what did you want for your minor effect?
Oh, no, I mean, if it's a matter of like actually getting information versus not, I would prefer that.
Okay.
But my idea originally was going to be, since I am getting all his the minor effect would be a little feedback of him getting a small bit of that soothing from a key.
Sure. No, I'm good
Whether
with
not
that.
necessarily feeling it himself, but like almost like getting a taste of like this foreign,
Mm-hmm.
like I know this is not at me per se, but getting a taste of like what that loving protection feels like. Of just almost like a like, you know, when you get hugged by someone and you haven't been hugged in a while.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. So, the
Cool.
one bit of information that the one bit of information that you are able to get is an image. You just get just the briefest image of a city that seems abandoned and dark, and you realize that it's not your emotion that you're feeling about this right there, but you get this immense feeling of satisfaction when you see this city completely covered into the darkness, but it's a very negative satisfaction. Does that make sense? Like it
Does
it
the city
feels
look familiar
wrong
at
to
all?
be enjoying it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if the city looks even remotely familiar.
Hylian architecture,
Okay, that's cool.
but you don't recognize the layout or anything like that.
Source domain is safe.
Um,
Um, but yeah, that getting a little bit of that humanization backlash.
yeah, and so as you kind of experience that, and you're fighting with yourself to remain conscious, you do
Fair.
feel that you guys are connected for just the briefest moment, and just without thinking, you extend some of that protection that a key is giving you, that calming sense, and you just kind of take a tiny piece of it and kind of thrust it at him. And you guys
You need a
watch.
hug.
You guys, you guys watch as, for the first time in this entire conversation, you see this figure kind of flinch, and you see him kind of blinking. The only aspect of his face you can see is you can kind of see him blinking and going, "That was strange. You know, little one, you really shouldn't be delving into places you shouldn't be going."
Was a wonderful woman, but she is too focused on not passing out.
So is that a
Um,
no one being aware of the potentate, or
He's a hack. He
I
thinks
love
he
it.
knows what he's doing. He's pathetic.
yeah,
Without
I
his
agree.
stone, he'd have nothing.
Oh, this is his, you're talking about his
This
crystal, or
guy
has
without a
he's
stone
got a
would be
secret stone
fine.
too?
I guess you'll have to find that out on your own.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sorry. Kira's just like, these stones are not so secret.
not anymore.
Well, I
I
love
mean,
that
you're.
he's like he thinks he's so powerful because he's got a secret stone, and it does is like, so he has one. You'll have to find that out on your own.
I could just,
love this
I
so
just
much.
totally can
You
see
want
Aino
it,
going,
forget
you know,
it."
you think you have the secret. I know about it. He knows about everybody knows the secret. You can come out.
It's worst secret ever.
Look, she's thinking it, but she's right now being like, I don't.
I'm
feel
just gonna
good.
let you say it.
Whoever is possibly the nearest to her might hear her mutter it, but she does not have the physical or mental strength to actually project or direct. It's literally like just the like when you're like coming out of feeling really sick or like unconscious, that's the mumble of like, this is not really that secret storm, and he's just told us all about this.
So Zariah, being right next to Aino, hears this and decides to say that to him.
Excellent.
Thank you, SAS translator. Friends for life.
This is my SAS megaphone.
I have a migraine, so I will be using my British SAS translator, Zariah.
To be fair, it will be more scathing in Zariah's voice than it will ever be in
The
Aino's.
SAS amplifier.
So, as this is all happening, let's use some randomness here. 'Cause I like random.
Oh no.
And I have 6 people, so I can
Can I
actually use
also
a
be
D6.
random?
Sure.
Yay.
How would you like to be random? Because
I
I'm
just
being
wanted to
random
be
by
random.
rolling a D6.
You can roll a d6 if you want. I don't know
Yeah,
what it'll do.
if you want to, you're welcome to.
I'm just gonna roll just to feel included.
I
too
want to be a
will roll a
part of
dice.
something.
Roll for inclusion.
I mean, sure. Let me go get my dice.
I rolled a 60.
So I was about to tell Dilly that they noticed something, but I'll wait till Dilly gets back. Dilly!
1 second.
Okay. do
I got a
To see
4
how they
Got a
react.
4. Cool. So
on
Dilly,
a D6.
Dilly, as all this stuff is happening, you being being not only the eldest of a very, very large family, but also being a performer and everything, your kind of spider sense of something is coming up behind me is always dialed to 11, because either there is something happening in the circus that you should be aware of, or one of your siblings is coming up to annoy you.
I'm not the only one who tried to get good at throwing daggers. Some of them are really bad.
So your sibling sense starts to tingle, and you notice some movement from behind you. As you turn around, you see almost a sea of people with Grumpo at the lead, walking very quickly towards you. All of them afflicted with the shadow sickness.
So what happens to the what? Oh.
Dilly puts their popcorn away
And then
and then hits Motto
Huh?
while
What?
looking.
What happened?
see,
Huh?
while you all were
Oh.
trying to find information, I was waiting for my backup plan. You see, I didn't think you could get them to voluntarily work together, so I just made them do it. Have fun.
That works.
And you see him start kind of coalescing his power, and you guys have never been on this side of it, but having left Tears before, you kind of intrinsically recognize he's attempting to leave the Tier.
Grasping for a lich?
So what would you all like to do?
Grasping for a lich?
Sure. Oh, I thought, for some odd reason, I thought you said grasping for a lich, and I'm like, I don't know what you're referencing.
That's his arm, of course. I'm
Really
grasping
wants
for
to
his
shake
arm.
his hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say, don't worry about spending any power to use it, because as you start to attempt to grasp him, the foliage goes through his form, and I'm assuming you would try to grab at the hand as well. And as it starts touching the hand, it anything that actually touches the physical hand starts to just burn and melt away.
Like burn like Adesh's fire burn?
There may be a connection.
Visually similar.
Looks visually similar.
Noted.
Can I touch it?
I mean, you are technically touching it with your vines, but if you want to touch, like he's pretty far away. He's technically a little bit outside the range of your grasping vines.
Right.
But
If you want to touch Shadow Fire, we can do that later.
It's like, if you want to be touched by my fire, like I can do that. But
Can we now?
Yes.
but yeah,
Fire.
you think that for whatever reason, you don't think your vines are going to be able to affect him.
Okay.
Or at least not on their own. Let's put it that way. So the rest of you, and as you do that, he goes, "That's adorable. Listen, if you want to try and make this more difficult, you can, but I think you're going to want to stop them first." And as he says that, you watch as the Shadow Sickness people stop moving towards you and turn towards each other and just start attacking each other.
Perfect. Grasping foliage?
Against him or them?
No, them.
I had a
Sure.
Zolta thought in that moment.
So
Tell me, because it's probably Zoraya's.
Was Zolta
Zolta-
let them fight?
Yes! It was like, well, they're distracted by each other. Sounds good.
So, my question for you: what do you want to do with the grasping foliage? Like, if everything goes the way that you want, what would you want the end result to be?
Essentially just
Because
blocking
this is
their movements.
like at least, because it's both forest and town Minish. This is probably close to a few hundred people. So depending on what you want the end result, it may change how difficult it'll be for you to do it.
Did they... Okay. Were they intermixed or were they still sort of segregated?
To be perfectly honest, well, no, because they do dress very differently. At this point, they're mostly intermixed, but the very ends are still segregated. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay, I need a second to think about that.
Okay, well, while she's thinking about that, let's effectively say that we're in initiative right now without needing an order. Everybody is going to have an action that they can take, and whomever wants to go first, we can call it popcorn initiative, but whoever has an idea for what they want to do.
literally.
You basically have two different things. You can try and stop the Shadow Sickness people from killing each other. You can try to prevent this guy from leaving if you want to come up with a way to do that. However, as you've seen from what Zoraya did, you don't think any individual effort is going to be able to stop him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are
Gotta
the
find our own version of the Trifork.
Are the shadow sickness people armed, or are they just going at each other with fists?
Some of them have weapons. Most of them don't. But some of the Shadow Sickness people are like guards and things like that. And despite the fact that their weapons would have been taken away from them when they got the Shadow Sickness, they have implements and other things like that.
Does
there's-
their
Go ahead.
go ahead?
In zombie terms,
Mm-hmm.
are they just mindless walkers doing the bidding? Are they going to still be proficient in those weapons? Do they seem like they're holding them correctly?
I would just say they look proficient in what they're doing. They would. I would not describe them as mindless. I would describe them as driven.
Yeah.
Or controlled. But they seem to retain their skills. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a hand, Lex?
Yes. I don't know how to do it because it's
Oh,
cut
sorry.
off.
It looked like you were like,
Thought you were saluting.
I'm out. I have a question about one of my ciphers because I have a detonation cipher that I've had,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what the range of it would be. My thought is if I can make something that can do that like because it creates like an earpiece or an ear piercing noise that if it's loud enough that it can handle a group of people, maybe get all of them to like stop for 2 seconds from murdering each other.
Sure.
I just don't know what like if there's a range on it.
For
All I
for
have
any
is that it just does that.
for any manifest cipher, it's a physical item. Like it's an actual physical object. So for something like a detonator cipher, you basically have a grenade. It goes as far as you can throw it, which in general, unless you have something that
Right, and then I throw it, but
changes
then
that.
once right, but when I throw
It's-
it and then it goes from there, what's
Well,
the
let me
range
finish.
of that? Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
So you can throw it in a short range, and then it should tell you as part of the thing if it what kind of range it has after
I
it's
don't for
thrown.
some reason.
Let me look. So which one is it?
The detonation.
It helps
It
if I
literal-
actually open up your
All I
character sheet
have
instead
is
of a
just
dash.
sonic detonation cipher, ear piercing sound damage, and for some reason that's all I have.
Oh, because you didn't write down everything. That would
Oh,
be why.
well that's my fault then.
Let me look. I have to open up the thing so I can actually. So it should be detonator sonic. Okay, project a small physical explosive up to a long distance away that explodes with a terrifying sound, deafening all in an immediate radius for 10 minutes per cipher level. So immediate is 10 feet, so 10-foot radius, 20-foot diameter. And you can throw it up to a long distance, which is up to 100 feet away. So you can throw it up to 100 feet away, and it will affect up to a circle of that is 20 foot in diameter.
Does it look like they're in all the people who are fighting are within that range?
All of them, no, but a large portion of them, yes. Again, we're talking about a couple hundred people. Putting them all in a 20-foot circle would be uncomfortable.
Just your standard rave.
You know what? I'm gonna try it. I'd like to throw it. And at least try to get most of them to kind of like stop.
Okay, sure. So just make an attack roll. This would be courage or wisdom. You can choose.
I technically have more in wisdom. So I'm going to use that. I'm gonna use a reroll for that. I mean, that was slightly better. 11.
Yeah, that's high enough. We'll say it's a big group of people. Probably like a difficulty 2. So the first thing you guys watch is Mato goes and he takes out a the thing and throws it, and you guys hear this extremely loud kind of ear-piercing screeching sound, and you watch as probably about 40 of these people all just kind of grip their ears and kind of fall down dazed from it, and as they get up, they keep kind of trying to talk to each other, but they're completely deafened by this, and so no one can hear anything.
Trying to talk to each other?
Well, they were screaming at well, not really screaming at each other. They were attacking, and now nothing. They can't hear anything, so they can't hear their attacks or
Okay.
anything. Like if you lose your hearing, it's really off-putting because you
Yeah.
don't realize how much of what you do
Very
is based off of
disorienting,
what
yeah.
you can hear.
All right.
Okay.
Right. So that means I can't speak to any of them.
Well,
That
you can
group,
speak to
there's
the
still
ones that I
more.
didn't hit. Yeah. There's like 100 of
But-
them.
Is anyone in addition to Motto looking like they're going to attack and maybe put themselves in harm's way?
I'm running up to the crowd.
Great. I go, Adesh, don't get hurt. And I use 3 power points to activate my heal, mother effer. So
That's the name of the ability?
that's what I called it.
Wow. Oh.
So, yeah, your words enhance the normal regenerative ability of a character within short range who is able to understand you. When they make a recovery roll, they must spend only half the normal amount of time required to do so.
Half the amount of what?
Time.
Half the normal amount of time
Okay.
to
Cool.
regenerate.
Cool.
Yeah.
That lasts for how long?
It doesn't have a time limit listed on it.
Forever.
So it is
Got
the
it.
next time you use a recovery
Oh,
roll.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my next heal will be half in action. That'll
Yeah.
be fun.
Originally, Cypher System called it Speedy Recovery. That didn't sound fun. So I named it.
Cool.
So-
Thank you.
So you've done that. We have Fubari and Adesh still have yet to do something.
Okay. I think I would like to use my thingy trick.
Okay.
I want to make a distraction to try to draw some of the draw some attention towards not fighting each other.
Sure. Absolutely.
I have like some tree sap in one of my pockets. Can I like put it in an acorn and see if I can make like a little bright explosion?
Absolutely.
All
I was
right.
Not aware of the explosive properties of tree sap, but
Well, I'm trying to think of what else I could have in my pocket that would be
plenty of things.
it'll ignite at least. The tree sap will
Yep.
ignite.
So,
Is there anything flammable around me?
Flour. Do you have flour in your pocket?
Yes.
You have muffins, which are full of flour.
I have
Yes,
a muffin.
explosive muffin.
I would say, like, I would not
There
be
is a muffin to
surprised.
shock.
Well,
Yeah, I have that.
Okay. So certain evergreen shrubs and trees like cedar, cypress, fir, juniper,
Mhm.
pine, and spruce contain volatile saps and resins. They're more likely to catch fire.
Mhm.
So that being said, it would not surprise me that you keep metal shavings and things like that, which is effectively what makes sparklers sparkle.
Mhm.
It's a specific kind of metal shavings, but you wouldn't quite have the alchemical knowledge to, the chemical knowledge to know exactly what kind. But you would have. So you've learned that there are certain metal shavings that you could put into things that make sparkles. So you very quickly just kind of. I do need you to make a. I think that's a power check for you. Is that what we use for your stuff?
Yes, I believe so.
Sure.
My
Okay.
dice. Classic.
Really like that little factoid, Elias. Technically, there's a non-zero chance that when you clap your hands together, you can trigger a nuclear explosion.
Oh.
Also a non-zero chance whenever you slap the table, your hand could go right through it. But it's so rare, no occurrences have happened yet in history.
Okay, power
con-
11.
So all it is you you roll a d to 20, and the reason I mention it as a power roll is if you want to add effort to it, you would
Yes.
take that from the power. You would use points from your power pool in order to do that. But it's
Okay.
a difficulty. Let's call it difficulty 4 with your thingy expertise. That brings it down to a 3, I believe, because you're
All right.
basically trained in doing that.
14.
14, yeah, that does it. So, while you all are seeing various things as this happen, Fubari just goes, "Ooh, okay." And you see Fubari kind of ruffling through things, and suddenly she has an acorn. You're like, "That's nice." And then she lights the top of the acorn on fire, which you realize is not a cap; it's a wick. And then she just goes, "Okay," and throws it. And then, as it's in the air, you watch as Fubari instinctively just does this. And the rest of you go, I wonder why she's boom. and a large portion of the group is just kind of fascinated with that. You actually watch as some of the sparks get close. Some of the kind of shadow sickness that's kind of leaking out of them and kind of going through their bodies starts to kind of fade away as the light gets closer. So, Adesh, do you want to do something?
Yeah, I learned that information a little too late, so I'll probably try what I was going to originally try first, just to see if it works. All right. So seeing that this entity uses the same type of shadow magic that I have started to grow accustomed to in myself, and knowing that he is responsible for this shadow curse stuff, and especially now that a lot of them are disoriented and distracted, and even at the last minute notice, potentially starting to heal from it, I'm gonna try and go up to one that is particularly not expecting it and just concentrate really, really, really hard, in the same way that I have done previously in controlling my shadow fire, to try and absorb the shadow that is in them into myself.
Okay. I'm going to say this is going to be a little bit difficult for you. It's going to start as a difficulty
I would
6.
would imagine so, yeah. So I am trained in magic lore. Is that helpful here?
It is a form of shadow magic. I'll give it to you. I'll give it
Excellent.
to you. So we'll go down to a difficulty 5.
And I have 2 effort I can use.
Go for it. So that's a difficulty 3.
This is
Still
just to make sure I know how much that costs, because this is not tied to a specific ability, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
it wouldn't cost you any power points to actually do this, and your effort tokens are taking care of the effort cost. So as of right now, from what you're describing, it shouldn't cost you anything.
Because effort tokens auto use. I gotcha.
Yeah, effort tokens replace you having to spend pool points.
Great. Okay, cool. So yeah, 2 effort tokens. So then yeah, difficulty 3. All right. Let's see what happens. Especially because I have to roll 20. It works. It's 12.
Hey!
All right, so you go up and you pick one of the more imposing guys. You think that this, you actually recognize this guy. He was one of the guards in the Forest Finish camp that had pointed spears at you. And so you kind of go up to him, and he's sitting there getting ready to slug someone right next to him. You come up and just kind of grab his arm from behind, and he turns to look at you, and he starts to kind of swing at you, and you just go, here goes nothing, and you start kind of pulling it out in the same way that you have canceled Shadow Flame before. And the first thing you notice is this sucks.
Yep.
As you're kind of pulling it out of him, it hurts a lot. You take 4 points of courage damage as you pull it out of him. But you keep yourself kind of steady and centered, and after a few seconds, you have to close your eyes because of the pain and everything, but after a few seconds, you are basically holding on to this guy's arm, and he's just looking at you like you're crazy. And he's kind of looking at your hand and then back at you, and he looks around and notices all the shadow sick people and tries to flee.
Yeah, good. Good, great.
Let's do that 100 more times.
Since my recovery is half an action, do I have time to do that?
Technically, the ability says minimum of 1 action.
Okay, all right.
So it can't get it slower than an action. But
Then I'll hold off on that and just
Okay.
steal myself. Is there, aside from damage, any effect?
just the damage.
Okay.
And you don't feel great.
Yeah.
Zariah seeing this, 'cause I would like to watch Adesh in pain for a second.
I would like to use my action to watch a death run.
Can Zariah, because I don't imagine she's too terribly far from everyone. Can she, so here's the idea. It's to create essentially a grappling hook with a goat head. Reoccurring theme, goat heads. But what I want to see if Adesh would be willing to do is light the goat head on fire with the shadow fire, and sort of, yes, don't worry, you're in on this. And sorry, I'm gonna try and force you to do something or persuade you. Persuade.
What else is new?
Nothing. To go over and basically use the shadow fired goat head to hook onto the guys he's trying to leave. And since she saw Adesh controlling the shadow fire,
Ooh.
have him try to pull the shadow fire back towards us.
Okay, just so I understand,
Okay.
you want to use the goat head grappling hook on the shadow creature, right?
Yes, who's trying to leave?
Who's trying to leave.
Man.
All right. And you want some of Adesh's shadow fire on there to kind of, because you just saw him and it somehow is related to this power, right?
Yes.
Take a player intrusion token, because that's a great idea. So the issue is you're a little bit too far away to do it. So what I'm going to have you roll is actually a courage check to kind of like force your body to run fast enough to get there within the 6-second time frame. Does that make sense? So this is an athletics check, effectively.
Okay. So courage,
Courage, yep.
check, not defense.
Yes, check.
Doorway check. All right. 19.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely. You get a minor effect. If you've got an
She's
idea
really
for
doing
one,
the shadow
let me know.
fire.
Otherwise,
Adesh comes with me.
so as you're sitting there and you're kind of putting this all together, you just have one of those light bulb moments. You're like, wait a second. And so you run over, and as you're running, you can see Adesh is sitting there going, and you see him just kind of trying to deal with this thing, and without really asking or anything, you just grab his hand and pull him along with you as you're like Naruto running in. And Adesh, you go along for the ride, and as you're going, Zariah is basically going, hey, I need a little bit of shadow fire. Just give me some shadow fire and put it on the goat's head, and I'll do everything else. Just, I need shadow fire.
I shoot my nausea fire into this.
You sneeze the fire onto her. And as you sit there, you're like, and you kind of like full on scorpion get over here to attack. And again, the last time you tried to do this, and are you aiming for the hand again?
Just him in general.
Just him in general. Okay. So the last time you did this, it had absolutely no effect. So this time, when it hits, the goat head itself starts going through, just like before, and starts actually kind of turning to ash as it interacts with its shadow form. But then the parts that have been infused with shadow fire suddenly seem to stick, and you guys inside your head hear this ear-shattering noise of "ah!" and this kind of cry of pain. And the eyes focus on you, Zariah, and you just hear in the center of your mind's eye, you will die first. But he doesn't
Just
seem
her
to be
hears
going
that, right?
anywhere.
Yeah, no one else hears that.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I believe that's everybody, right? Everyone's done something, except for Aino, who is still kind of incapacitated from the mind assault. So back to the top of the round.
I'll just say that Dilly, having seen Fubari throw that, goes, "Oh, did you want these?" and takes out 2 hand bombs. Are we using these?
Oh yeah, I also have a hand bomb.
Should we throw
Uh,
these?
Well, I mean, it's gonna do damage. I mean,
This is a question to Fubari.
Oh, well, did Fubari see the light from the sparkler that she...
Absolutely.
One sec, sorry. Cat.
Not a problem. Kitty getting into problems.
Or being sick. Don't
Yeah.
be sick, Kitty.
Hopefully not sick.
yeah. While we're waiting, question: that muffin of shock attack that you gave me, was there a range to that if I threw it?
I sent you all the information I had on it.
Sorry, she knocked over something.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, the muffin of shock attack is like a buff. So when
No, strikes a solid creature object. The attack generates bursts of electricity, inflicting
okay.
additional point of damage.
Well, see, it says
3 points of damage,
additional
6 points of damage.
point of damage.
Okay, so it would be additional, so it would have to be a melee attack. Okay,
In addition to normal muffin damage, I think.
Yeah,
what it
okay.
means.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because didn't you like have a teardrop that you put into a muffin, and that's where it came from? So you could have sworn, because there isn't a cipher that is a muffin of shock.
Yes, it was in the muffin.
Okay.
That is muffin based.
There's no muffin-based ciphers I'm aware of. So I was just trying to figure out what it actually was. No, that makes sense. Okay, so
Yeah.
no muffin damage is not extremely high. I'm gonna put that out there right now.
Normal muffins.
I'm just saying it still does the additional shock damage, but the actual base damage of the muffin is pretty negligible.
But Soraya put a rock in it, so.
So now it's
Trying to
it's a rockin' shockin' muff.
rockin' shockin' muffin. Official teardrop name.
Rockin' shockin' muffin. So say it does 2 points of damage then.
Suddenly a 90s kids
Electro-gluten
toy
attack.
commercial.
Rockin'
we're just-
suckers.
Wait, do we need more muffins?
Yeah,
I have so
you-
many muffins.
Would you say the fighting Minish are intelligent creatures of
Yes.
level 3 or lower?
yes.
Okay. That's good to know. How many are still fighting?
Let's say like 60 are left. Because you guys have taken out about 100, 120-ish.
Okay. How many are in short range from me?
None.
Okay.
Short range. Oh, I guess let's say 20 are. Because short range is 50 feet, so.
All right. What am I going to actually say then?
While she's doing that, it's getting close to the point that we need to go here. So I'm just going to have everybody kind of decide, do you want to continue focusing on the shadow sickness ones, or do you want to focus on, and this is by an individual basis. So are you focusing on the shadow minions, or are you focusing on the shadow dude?
Dude.
All right, Zaraya's on the shadow dude.
I'm going to be on the minions, and I'm going to use 2 power points at a time to do Lionel Tamer and tell them to stop fighting one by one without moving.
Okay, got that. Fubari, Adesh, Mato. Which group are you focusing on?
The Minish.
Minish, okay?
Yeah, sorry, last first.
Oh, I'm next to Soraya, so I'm backing her up.
Okay.
With
And then Mato?
I'm gonna focus on the Minish because that was what I was acting on first.
Okay. So, those of you that are focusing on the Minish, especially with, like, Fubari and Mato, like, you guys are good at kind of distracting, but you guys, to be honest, you guys actually haven't seen Dilly use this particular ability.
Yeah, I haven't been very good at using Dilly's abilities.
So, well, you guys are doing pretty well at keeping people from attack. You suddenly have this inexorable pull to just kind of watch and listen to what Dilly is doing. And Dilly is basically kind of walking through the crowd, very much, what's that Hugh Jackman movie?
Wolverine.
Yes,
Which
very
one?
much like Wolverine.
Greatest Showman.
Yeah, is it Les Mis?
Greatest Showman. Where she has gone full ringmaster. And so she's going through and she's like slapping the ground every so often, and like you are enwrapped by everything
Jack
that
the
she's
Whipper style.
doing.
Jacques
Um,
the Whipper.
I can't do too much because then it is very much like what identity theft at this point. I already
That's not a joke, Jim.
Yeah, when we were doing the artwork for this, I said that the outfit should be a la Jack the Whipper. So I can't do more.
So
You would.
you guys watch, and
Changed.
with a combination of Zariah kind of focusing, or not Zariah, I'm sorry, Dilly kind of getting everyone's attention, and a combination of Fubari and Mato kind of picking up the stragglers, and that you guys are able to kind of stop the carnage without any loss of life. There's a lot of injuries, unfortunately, but it doesn't look like anyone has died from this encounter. Zariah, as you and Mato have basically,
Adesh.
or Adesh, sorry, as you and Adesh have basically kind of chained him to the down and stuck him in this realm, he starts getting more and more angry. He starts throwing attacks and things like that at you, and you suddenly realize he is a lot more powerful than you guys. You don't think you're going to be able to stop him from leaving, but you also don't think he can break the chain. Like, he has the ability to break the chain that you've connected to him. So the choice that you both have is you can remain attached to this chain and leave with him, or let it go and he will go.
I'm sorry, Adesh, I'm going to speak for you for a second. If Adesh tries to pull back the shadow fire, because that's essentially what the hand in as well, will that do anything to him?
I imagine it would take.
I mean,
As
not
in, like,
Adesh. It
drain-
doesn't matter, Adesh. But
As in, like, drain some of it off.
yes.
It is of a level so high that
It would overwhelm me, I think. I
He-
got 6 points of damage just from killing one of the people outside.
yeah, like he could not absorb enough of it to make any difference. It's kind of like trying to drink a flood away.
But you can still take a sip out of a flood.
Yeah, but it won't change anything.
No, not to the flood.
I
Zarya's
part of-
experimenting with Adesh's shadow.
no. I was just experimenting with it myself though, because I was wondering if me training any of that shadow would have an effect on any of the power. I
Yeah,
have
if
myself.
you want to do that, you are absolutely able to do that, and you're 100% right in the idea that this is not a type of power you have experienced before, so it will definitely have an effect on you. You have no idea what that effect will be.
Zarya gives Adesh a straw.
So Zariah is strongly encouraging Adesh to take a drink.
Yes, and basically, if there's any way to assist with that backlash, if possible, or
Sure.
if like that can be her
I'll give
action
you-
is to help with defense.
I'll give you 2 assets with how much the fact that you're holding him there, which is giving
Yeah.
him the ability to do that, and you're going to try and take some of the damage from him.
Yeah, just
If Adesh is willing.
just a little sip.
Okay, sure.
Little sip.
Little tiny.
Tell me how
See
it
what we're dealing with.
tastes.
See what we're dealing with.
Go ahead.
That's
and
exactly it.
Be prepared to catch my body.
Make a power defense roll. Or
Okay.
no, a courage defense roll.
Okay, I'm trained in it.
No, Adesh is going to be making this
Yeah.
roll. And basically, for each level you would beat, it's going to subtract 1 damage from the final damage you're about to take. So
But he
the higher
gets
your
2
roll-
assets?
Okay.
Yeah, so
So
it's effectively...
higher roll better. Yeah.
Yeah. Effectively, that
Um,
just increases the difficulty level. He gets 2 damage reduced for free because of the assets.
Okay.
So it's courage defense.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 assets.
Mm-hmm.
You said.
Yep.
What's the power level?
There isn't a power level. It's the higher
Okay.
you roll, the less damage you take. So if you beat a level
So
3 attack, you would reduce the final damage you take by 3.
So is there any point in doing effort or train abilities here?
Each one will basically
Help with
count
that?
as an additional point of damage you don't
Okay.
take.
Cool. Because I am trained in courage defense.
Cool.
I
So without
trained in
rolling, without rolling, you can only use 1 skill on any particular roll. So
Okay, that works. That works then. And then I'll use my 2 effort as well.
Okay, so before you roll, no matter what you do, you are reducing the damage taken by 2 from the assets, by an additional 1 for your skill, and then by an additional 2 for the effort. So you're already going to be
5
down
total.
5 damage. So go ahead and roll, and for each 3, basically, it'll reduce at another point of damage.
I'm gonna use my 1 reroll token
Okay.
because I think the odds are better. But what's up, Jax?
Before we do anything to him, can Zariah respond to his comment?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh.
So as that like thought permeates her mind, she's gonna just sort of give him a snarky look and say, "Yeah, what life's full of disappointments. Just ask your parents."
Okay.
Got him.
So, what did you roll, Elias?
You know what I rolled.
No.
Reroll token.
Zariah's
Oh
comment
That
hit
was the
harder
reroll
than you
token.
intended.
Can my reroll token,
No.
my burn, be given to
You're
Adesh
already
as a
double
reroll
assetting.
token?
So,
No, I'm saying, could my comment be a?
So I don't get as much damage, but something's gonna happen.
Oh,
so
God.
Adesh, as you sit there, realizing what she wants you to do, you're like, okay. And as you start to draw it in, as soon as you feel the kind of first taste of that concentrated shadow, you instantly realize this was a mistake. Zariah, you're kind of holding on to him and you're bracing him as hard as you can against this, and you suddenly feel as if the entirety of your body has just been lit on fire and instantly bruised at the same time. So you have that kind of feeling of a bruise all over and then also on fire. You guys take a combined 24 points of damage.
Oh.
Minus 5. So it's 19 that you guys can spread between the 2 of you. However you'd like to separate it is
I
fine.
can comfortably take up to 15.
Okay.
So where
I
is it
can
being
take all
taken
of it
from?
if I need to.
No.
It starts in courage, and
Starts in
then
courage and
any
goes down.
overlap goes to wisdom, and then any overlap goes to power.
Okay, that's what I thought. Since it was my idea, Adesh, I'll take 12.
12, which makes it
7.
7.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll still put me on debilitated.
Okay. So you've gone 1 step down the damage track. In addition to that, as you are absorbing this, you feel something inside your mind and your kind of mental form snap. And until you figure out how to deal with this, you have lost access to your shadow flame and fire abilities entirely.
Tight.
But you did
Why?
absorb some of it, so there is now
Why?
something inside you, but you're not quite sure what it does.
Yeah.
So, with that, you all are able to stop it. The creature is able to escape, but not without leaving a piece of himself behind. And Zariah, you yourself, because you were connected and because of a Nat 1, also feel something has changed within you. Something is not the same.
Something is not the same.
Jody
So
set
you're-
us up for that one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're
we
not-
walked right into that.
You're not quite sure what it is, but something is very different and very wrong. But the rest of you are able to stop the bloodshed. Once the ones that are more damaged are able to get some medical attention, you think they'll probably be okay. But as the creature leaves, the shadow sickness starts to kind of fade away as well. But unfortunately, that is where we're going to end it for today. As always, if you missed any of this, you can actually watch them right here, twitch.tv/ZeldaUniverse.tv. We have the entire campaign right here of Tears of the Realms. We also have our previous campaign, Realms of the Wild, if you'd like to see the nonsense that happened there.
And
but
want to
otherwise-
learn more about that hand.
Yeah, and want to
Yeah.
find the episode where that hand showed up.
We'll have to put together a hand playlist to just get that particular lore.
Yep.
Anyway, that is going to be all for us today, and we will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.